news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM. It's 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are on Love 99.5 and in all 16 regions of Ghana via partner stations. Also live on myjoyonline.com, X Spaces and YouTube this morning. Fuel prices up again with diesel recording the biggest increase. But the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers says the adjustments do not justify a 30% hike in transport fares.
Although the numbers at this point will be indicating that there could be some hikes in fares, but the 30 we are seeing could be an overkill.
Well, we have that and more coming up in business as well. Also this morning, Ministry of Education clarifies that French, Arabic, Chinese and other foreign languages will not be the main medium of instruction in Ghana's BECE schools under the proposed revised curriculum.
English remains our main medium of instruction, but from kindergarten to primary 3, we are encouraging and forcefully supporting the use of local Ghanaian language.
And also coming up to Chiman Senior High School overpowers Jema and Yeji Senior High Technical School to emerge Bono East top qualifier for the 2026 National Science and Maths Quiz.
We knew that we were going to win, so I'm very proud of them and I'm happy. We're going higher, definitely. We are going higher and we are going to shine.
These and more with me, Mami Sinyamicha Thompson. Do stay. The details now. Some oil marketing companies have increased fuel prices for the first pricing window of August, with diesel recording the biggest rise. At Star Oil, petrol now sells at 14 cedis 53 pesos per litre, while diesel has gone up to 18 cedis 77 pesos. The increase have been linked to higher global crude oil prices and the recent depreciation of the cedi. More oil marketing companies are expected to also adjust their prices. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers says the latest fuel price increase do not justify any increase in transport fares. Executive Secretary of COPEC Dan Kanamwa explains that a 30% will be an overkill.
Petrol is also climbing, but it's not climbed to the levels that I would expect the GPRTU to do at 30%. Although the numbers at this point will be indicating that there could be some hikes in fares. But when you look at where they were, prices that were on the market before GPRTU and its members went down on transport fares by 15%, somewhere in August last year. If you ask me, probably 15, maximum 20%, maybe could be fair, but the 30 we are saying could be an overkill.
Now, the Ministry of Education has clarified that French, Arabic, Chinese and other foreign languages will not be the main medium of instruction in Ghana's BECE schools under the proposed revised curriculum. The clarification follows what the ministry describes as misconceptions about government's language of instruction policy. Listen to the Minister Haruna Idrisu at the 68th Speech and Prize Giving Day of the Pope John Senior High School and a minor seminary.
I have heard commentaries and suggestions on comments attributed to the Honorable Minister. Let me use the opportunity of this ceremony to clarify and respond appropriately that there is no intention by government to make Arabic and Chinese compulsory at any level of our education. That is not the thought. And that is not the thinking of government. English remains our main medium of instruction, but from kindergarten to primary 3, we are encouraging and forcefully supporting the use of local Ghanaian language so that our children will not be lost out of their own values and culture.
Well, still in education.
Oh, our school is banned. Rather.
Screams of students when fire broke out at the girls' dormitory of the Y Islamic Senior High School. 2 fire tenders were at the scene battling the blaze and firefighters working to contain the fire and prevent it from spreading to adjoining sections of the girls' dormitory on Sunday morning. No casualties have been reported according to the National Fire Service. Moving on, the Wa Municipal Hospital has served the Upper West region for more than a century, but 108 years after it was established, the facility is struggling with severe challenges, including a shortage of doctors, a debt of more than 5 million cedis, and a lack of critical medical equipment. Join News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Today, the walls are still standing, but the services are collapsing. The chiefs of Wale State were not here for a courtesy call on the instruction of the Wale Overlord, now for Senate People the 4th. It was an intervention.
It looks like for a very long time, we have neglected this place.
Honorable Health Minister, listen to our challenge and help us. 1917 hospital, metamorphosed into a regional hospital, and look at where we are now.
Medical Superintendent Dr. Bukar Zakaria told them the hospital is gasping for breath.
I always describe this as delivering an infant and using the grandfather's clothing to wear the infant.
The number tell the story. Only 6 doctors instead of 30. Only 2 specialists instead of 10. No surgeon, no incubators, no phototherapy machines. Even the anesthetic machine is down. Pregnant women are being rushed to other facilities because this hospital cannot help them. But the most painful words came from the paramount chief of Gole, Nasiru Brahma Nobalana.
Eye pressure, checking the eye pressure was a challenge. It was a challenge. I had to go outside this hospital to a private place, or you now have that facility where I can check my eyes. You see, some of these simple things, they are not there.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, there's growing concern over the deteriorating condition of the Nalaringu Dam, which is said to be at risk of collapse following the suspension of rehabilitation works. The Northeast Regional Minister is urging the immediate release of funds to complete the project and avert what he warns could become a major disaster. Correspondent Elias Tanko reports.
The Nalaringu Dam, built many decades ago, has served as a vital source of water for irrigation and other domestic activities in the Northeast Regional Capital. However, the dam is now under serious threat as water levels continue to rise beyond safe limits. Rehabilitation works on the dam commenced in April this year, but were abruptly suspended after the contractor demobilized from the site. Since then, the contractor has abandoned the partially completed project, leaving the excavated structure exposed and increasingly vulnerable to the effects of the ongoing rains. With the rainy season intensifying, water levels are rapidly approaching the dam's embankments, raising fears of a possible collapse that could endanger nearby communities, destroy farms, and disrupt livelihoods in the regional capital.
Between today and tomorrow, because look at the skies, you don't know when the rains will come.
I was just looking at the middle of it.
Exactly.
So the water is rising.
It's rising. Look, one heavy rain, it will spill over.
During an inspection of the site, the Northeast Regional Minister Ibrahim Tia expressed deep concern over the situation, describing the abandonment of the rehabilitation project as a serious national security risk.
If something should happen here, you know the consequences. Indeed, when they gave him the project, they've not given him mobilization. He has come, there are 2 dams. He's working here in Lambiensi, but he's going to look for money. And you know, it's a process. You can't just go and then you pick the money and give you. So that is the issue. But we shouldn't wait until something happens and we'll now begin giving stories. If there's a remedy, we should do it. And whatever we will do, we'll add the cost to the contractor. When he comes, he takes it up.
Right.
Well, the race for a place at the 2026 National Science and Maths Quiz Championship has ended in Bono East, with Techiman Senior High School emerging as the region's strongest contender after a dominant display in the final qualifier. Here's a look back.
4 schools have emerged from Bono East regional qualifiers, ready to test themselves against the country's finest at the national championship.
Akumfia Mayao is coming this year to impress not only the old students but also the entire school. We want to do our best so that we can be recognized as one of the best schools in the Bono East region.
Very proud of them. We knew that we would win, but we wanted the prize, the gold prize, which we didn't get, but we knew that we were going to win. So I'm very proud of them and I'm happy.
And what's your expectation of them as they head to the national stage?
We are going higher, definitely. We are going higher and we are going to shine.
Techiman SHS finished as the highest scoring qualifier and now have their eyes set on earning a seeded place at this year's national championship.
And that's how we end this morning's bulletin here on Joy 99.7 FM. Up next is business on the Super Morning Show. Do stay.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
When I say ABSA, you say yes. ABSA Bakiti, we go say yes this 2026 till your jobs start dropping down. Yes, you listening to me right now. I know you get dreams. A work is here, and a work it well. Like me, I want to buy that Porsche car I've been dreaming of. I move into my dream house. No landlord will say me. Join the ABSA family and let's help you say yes to your dreams with tailored banking solutions from loans, mortgages, credit cards to digital banking and more. Make 2026 the year of yes with ABSA. Your story matters.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
What will the world need tomorrow? Smarter systems, bolder thinkers, people who don't just use technology but build it as well. At Academic City University, that's exactly whom we train. Whether you're starting your undergraduate degree or advancing with a master's program, from business and communication arts to engineering and computational sciences, our programs are built with industry for real-world impact. You won't just graduate with a certificate, you'll graduate ready to solve, build, and lead. The future belongs to those who are prepared. Are you ready? Call 0594 030 308. Academic City University, educating future-ready leaders.
Looking for a location that gives your business a competitive edge? Dawa Industrial Zone offers world-class facilities, direct access to major trade hubs, and a thriving business ecosystem. Whether you are setting up in the manufacturing, logistics, or services, our ready-to-use industrial spaces and supportive policies make expansion easy. Visit www.diz-ghana.com or call 055-20-40,000. Dawa Industrial Zone, where businesses thrive.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became number one. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Day, CalBank just credited my account with 5,000 Ghana cedis. Wait, how? You know the CalBank Abakade promo? I deposited 500 Ghana cedis and they picked me as the winner this month. Just like that? Just like that. And the big one for the grand finale, one person stands a chance of winning 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Huh, I need to move money into my CalBank account right now.
CalBank Abakade promo, fully active. Deposit 500 Ghana cedis or more into your CalBank account and stand a chance of winning 5,000 Ghana cedis every month or 100,000 Ghana cedis in the grand draw. The more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. Promo runs from 1st August to 31st October. CalBank. Forward together. Terms and conditions apply. This campaign is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
CalBank. Forward together.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
It's 16 past 6. You're still on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Kojo, Akoto, Boateng. Daryl is here.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Morning.
How's your weekend? I was going to
great.
ask you about your weekend stories, but I know there's something on your heart this morning that you really want to deal with.
The weekend, something sad happened, yeah?
Oh.
We took a tractor to a welder to weld a component for us, and we left it there overnight. When we went in the morning, somebody had come to siphon all the fuel. All the diesel, it was on a full tank, okay? And they had also cut the hydraulic tubes and drained all the hydraulic oil. Yeah, but it's part of. It's
Sorry.
part of. It shouldn't be part, but it's become part of.
It's become part of
petty theft, and to drain a full tank of a tractor will set me back about 3,000 cedis.
Oh,
basically.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
Sorry about
initially,
that.
yeah,
we move.
Anyway, how was yours?
It was restful. Yeah, nothing eventful, just restful.
Yeah, did you go to Kojo to eat abasi fufu?
No, I didn't.
Anyway, Daryl, look, I have a big problem. We began the year with fuel prices around 10, 11, 12. In March, when it increased to 14, 17, I remember we sat here to scream because I was worried, and we asked the government to do something about it. And remember, they introduced this 2 Ghana cedi relief on fuel prices. Then we hit August, and diesel is almost at 19 cedis per liter. Petrol is almost at 15 cedis per liter. What's happening?
I'm just taking a look at how much crude oil is selling on the international market right now. It's $83.20 a barrel. I mean, we're somewhere around past $100 a barrel. So you would just think that, well, since it's going down, then things would reverse, right?
Yeah.
So then it makes you wonder what's happening. Aside from, the prices going up on the international, there's been some volatility. So then you begin to think, is it supply issues? What's happening to the finished products? That's what we were discussing before we came on the air.
I'm not happy because I started
and the
the year.
isn't helping much, is it?
My personal budgeting for the year, I put diesel prices at 15 Ghana cedis for the year. That's what I used to budget for my personal life, for my business and everything. Now diesel is almost at 19 Ghana cedis. The 40 cedis difference. Where do I get the money to offset that?
You've already planned.
And in fact, we planned without having money. We planned with hope and a strategy. So with these increases, how do we survive as individuals, as businesses?
And what are the interventions?
Yes. I'm really worried about this, and I just thought I should ask you what is happening in the global space.
Yeah. So globally, it's $83.20 a barrel, down, way down, $17 down from where we were at a point in time. But then we figure it has to be the finished products and supplies.
So if we increased our local refinery capacity, will that result in lower prices for us?
Then you ask yourself, how significant is the local capacity right now?
Sentio and Tamayo refinery keep expanding and keep doing things we love to see.
But that would take a while.
I see. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah.
Time for the Joy Business Report. But before that, let me remind you that the 6 a.m. news is brought to you by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. Absa Bank Ghana Limited, your story matters. And the Joy Business Report is brought to you by Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank. Who are we giving the trumpet to today?
Well, since you're talking about the fuel local capacity, how about the thermal oil refinery, right? Because I think, was it over the weekend, the president was there to commission the refurbished crude distillation unit, we're told, the CDU. And it's progress, baby steps. We are getting there. Edmond Combat and his team, they're doing a good job.
So the refinery, some stories say that the refinery is back on track without a bailout. So you are giving the trumpet to the refinery.
Yes, and the managers, I think they deserve some shout this morning.
Okay, so we say
trumpets. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, more oil marketing companies expected to increase fuel prices after Star Oil and Guel took the lead over the weekend. Also coming up, partner at PwC Ghana, Abeku Kwanzaa, warns new tax bills passed by Parliament could result in businesses and some individuals paying more to the state. Also, some banks increased tariffs for most services offered as EcoBank announces resumption of maintenance fee for foreign currency accounts. Details coming up. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Hello to our friends listening from Koforidua on KTU Radio. More oil marketing companies are expected to increase fuel prices at the pumps this morning. We have details in the following report.
This is coming after Star Oil took the lead on Saturday, increasing petrol to 14 cedis 53 pesos per litre and diesel going up significantly to 18 cedis 77 pesos. There are indications that some of the oil marketing companies will stick to the price quotes from Star Oil, whilst others have indicated that they may go above these levels, especially when it comes to diesel, which could reach 19 cedis or even more per litre. Some have also told Joy Business that they might be forced to move to daily review of prices due to current development on the world market. Fuel prices are going up due to the recent pressure on the cedi and rising crude and finished petroleum products prices on the world market.
Well, meanwhile, market leader Guel has increased prices, selling a litre of petrol at 14 cedis 98 pesos, diesel going for 17 cedis 71 pesos. In a related development, these increments could now force the Transport Ministry to open discussions with the various unionized transport operators who have been pushing for an increase in fares. Now, government has indicated it will step in quickly and cushion consumers if the situation with fuel prices get out of hand. Dr. Theo Echampong is technical advisor to the finance minister.
The key thing is never to panic. The key thing is to make decisions based on the evidence, based on the data. The escalation of the conflict only started just the last couple of a week or two, right? Again, let me take you back. When the initial conflict started in February this year, it took a while for us to really look at the data and all of that before you can actually make an appropriate
historical data. Now you have a historical data to act on.
Of course, we have historical data.
Yeah.
And you have some additional assessment from all manner of places. What I'm saying is that if government has to act, government would act.
You had Dr. Theo Champon, technical advisor to the finance minister. Now, industries and businesses that rely on fuel oil to power their plants and their operations will soon have to be paying more anytime they purchase the product. That's because Parliament has passed the Energy Sector Amendment Bill. According to government, the move is to help halt the product abuse and loss of revenue to the state. Now, partner at accounting and auditing firm PwC Ghana, Abeku Kwanzaa, is warning that the passage of new tax bills by Parliament could result in businesses and individuals paying more to the state. Government last week secured Parliament's approval for some new tax bills as part of measures aimed at improving collection. But Mr. Kwanzaa is particularly worried about its implementation.
Businesses ought to be very careful now with the new Customs Act that has been passed, because it's a whole new document, and also be very careful with the new excise duty, because otherwise within a month or two you begin hearing the complaint. And I felt that Parliament should have taken a bit more time, allowed a lot more public consultations, go through the nitty-gritties, because so today the media is reporting that, oh yes, those that are taking minimum wage, just minimum wage, will not pay income tax because of the amendment. However, if you look at what has happened, and I was playing with the numbers, there are some people that would lose money. Actually, you're going to be paying more taxes.
Abeku Jankwansa is partner at PwC Ghana. Some commercial banks have announced an increase in tariffs and prices charged for some services offered to their customers. Our checks show that Stanbic, Ecobank and Absa have announced this through text messages to their clients. In a separate development, Ecobank has announced that it is returning to charging foreign currency account fees from this month. It's not clear whether the recent review in the cash reserve ratio for banks holding foreign currencies might have played a role in this announcement. Now, government continued to attract high investor interest for its treasury bills as it recorded another oversubscription of its short-term instruments. According to auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government recorded 79% more than its target. There's more in this report.
The government received bids worth 10.5 billion Ghana cedis, but accepted a little over 8.6 billion Ghana cedis of the total bids. The 364-day bill was once again the most subscribed bill, as 7.47 billion Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered, representing about 71% of the total bids. The uptake was, however, 7.1 billion Ghana cedis. The 182-day bill received bids of 757.9 million Ghana cedis. A little above 501 million Ghana cedis of the bids was accepted. For the 91-day bill, 2.2 billion Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered. A little above 972 million Ghana cedis of the bids were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates continued to rise on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill remained unchanged at 5.76%. That of the 182-day bill dropped to 7.64% from the previous weeks of 7.68%. However, the yield on the 364-day bill surged by 2 basis points to 12.96%.
The Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research is urging government to place greater emphasis on efficient use of public resources. Speaking at the Institute's post-media budget review forum, Director of the Institute, Professor Robert Darko, said Ghana's constrained fiscal space makes it imperative for government to improve the quality and impact of its spending.
Fiscal consolidation in the face of tight fiscal space is not only about reducing expenditure, it is also about the efficiency of spending. And again, I think that I use the Accra-Kumasi Expressway, but it's certainly not the only one. And the prioritization or sequencing of the new expressway relative to getting the one that is existing operational brings home the point about the need to improve efficiency of spending.
Director of BECE, Professor Robert Darko, say. Now, the United Arab Emirates emerged as the top destination for Ghana's exports for last year. That's according to the International Trade Report released by the Ghana Statistical Service. Here's more.
The data showed that United Arab Emirates accounted for more than 50% of Ghana's exports, which was dominated by gold. It was followed by India and China. So let's do some regional breakdown here. In Europe, Switzerland took 53% of the exports to that continent. In the Americas, it was the United States of America, which data showed that it accounted for more than 70% of Ghana's exports. In Africa, South Africa was the destination for more than 58% of Ghana's exports, whilst on the import side, most Ghana's goods and products came from China. The Ghana Statistical Service recorded a strong position when it comes to exports in Africa and even on the global level, as it posted a strong trade surplus for the whole of last year. Again, in Africa, Ghana is also exporting more than importing. In terms of earnings, the country realized more than 400 billion Ghana cedis for last year when it comes to exports.
Let's find out how your investments will fare on the Ghana Stock Exchange this week. Here's Caitlin Darcy of Data Bank Research.
Last week, trading activity on the stock market ended on a lower trajectory, with 9 laggards outpacing 6 gainers. The top gainers were Ecobank Ghana, Clydestone and Intravenous Infusions, while Atlantic Lithium, SIC, and Societe Generale declined. Driven by the price gains, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index advanced to a year-to-date gain of 76%, while the Databank Stock Index surged to a year-to-date return of 90.8%. Weekly turnover increased to 168.9 million Ghana cedis after trading 6.4 million shares across 33 counters, with MTN Ghana accounting for 77.7% of the market turnover. This week, we expect the share prices of MTN Ghana, Unilever and Fan Milk to increase, while SIC, Intravenous Infusions and Republic Bank Ghana decline. For Joy Business Report, Caitlin Dazi of Databank Research.
On the commodity market, crude oil, the price of crude oil has gone down, selling this morning at $83.20 a barrel over the pause in the U.S. strikes on Iran. Gold went up marginally, going for $4,062 an ounce. Cocoa shot up by more than $200. It's trading this morning at $5,379 a ton. Also, this morning on the currency market, the dollar going for 11 cedis 78 pesos. That's what major commercial banks are offering their clients. The euro going for 13 cedis 42 pesos. A British pound 15 cedis 67 pesos. The Forex Bureau is quoting the dollar 12 cedis 30 pesos. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Is back to Kojo and the team with more of the Super Morning Show.
Thank you, Daryl, for bringing us the business report. So I've been looking at the crude oil prices. So in week 1 of April this year, it was $109.66 per barrel. Right. I think our budget benchmark was 76 or something dollars per barrel. And now we say it's at 80 what?
83.
$83 per barrel. So crude oil is coming down.
It's coming down.
How about the cedi? Has the cedi been depreciating?
Yeah, we've seen some marginal depreciation over the past few weeks. Yes,
Yeah.
but it's currently at 11.78. That's what the banks are quoting this morning. Yeah.
So in January, crude was 75, increased to 109 in April, came to 90, 98, 88, 82, 86, and currently you say it's around
87 actually.
$87
a barrel.
Okay, let's see how that goes. We'll be getting deeper into this because I've been doing the calculations based on my estimated spend on fuel for the year. And based on the price changes over the course of the year, I've spent 18,000 cedis more this year on fuel. I've spent 18,000 cedis more this year on fuel,
And
which
that's
is
just you.
and only answer no. So we want to know from listeners as well how the fuel price changes affect your family's budget, your personal budget, and your business. All here on the Super Morning
Sometimes
Show.
you think the 1 cedi, 2 cedi increase, 50% increase is not significant. But when you
It
add
is
all
very
up,
significant.
Yeah.
If you are doing 800 liters a week, for example, or 800 liters a month, it's very significant. Every single cedi increases your cost. So we'll take the inspirational song for the morning. It's the title is "You Deserve All the Glory." It's from the Amen Choir.
Okay,
enjoy this one.
Holy Lamb of God, Lord Jesus, you deserve all. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the worship. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. You deserve all the glory. Yeah. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the worship. You deserve all the worship. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the worship. You deserve all the worship. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the honor. Yes. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the worship. Yeah. You deserve all the worship. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. Lord Jesus, you deserve all. You deserve all the glory. Yeah. You deserve all the glory. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the honor. You deserve all the worship.
Indeed, he deserves all the glory, all the honor, all the reverence. You deserve all the glory from the Amen Choir. 6:36. Kojo Yankson.
Yes, Auntie.
Eze.
Ekoye.
Ode ye dear.
Papa.
Ghana winter also.
Oh, it is wintering.
I experienced mist and fog patches last night on the mountains. Nami humenim. Charlie, it was thick. It was nice,
I was safely in my bed.
Yeah. Kogu, morning.
Yes.
How are you?
Morning. I'm doing great. And
how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I was telling people that, these days, the weekends, Saturday,
Any free
Saturday is the
jollof
only
at a
weekend.
funeral?
Oh, no.
Or some banku at a wedding?
I was home. Saturday is the only weekend. Sunday
Yes.
is just dreading Monday morning. Really. It's crazy, man.
I went to the beach on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
You did?
Yeah.
Which
It was
beach?
Labadi Beach Hotel. Yeah. Shouts to our friends over there.
I hear they are turning 30 or 35.
Yeah, they are doing well.
Yeah.
People are having fun there. I was watching
Nice.
lots of tourists on the beach enjoying themselves. I say, hey, people, do you know what's happening with fuel prices?
And that breakfast on Friday was welcome. So Thursday, Friday, you should repeat encore. Repeat encore.
We want to turn it into a habit.
Anyway, time for let me give you the fuel tip before you give us say it right. And the fuel tip: visitors and contractors should receive a short safety briefing before entering operational areas. Never assume they know the standards, the hazards, the restricted zones, or emergency procedures. A few minutes of orientation can prevent major mistakes. This is a message from COMAC promoting informed safety, and COMAC is Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Yes, they are promoting safety. Thank you, Komak, for that message. Kojo.
All right, say it right. This and Every Morning is brought to you by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks. And Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either. I say either.
I've noticed how often people confuse who with whom. It can get a bit perplexing, but this is how I explain the difference. Who refers to the one who is doing the thing, and whom is used for the one the thing is being done to. So you would say, who gave you that tie? Or, she married the one who gave her flowers. But you would say, he's the one for whom food is delivered. Or, to whom do I pay my rent? Still confused? Well, here's a tip to help you always say it right. If you're not sure whether to use who or whom, just try to answer with he or him and see which makes more sense in the sentence. If him makes more sense, then whom is correct. If he makes more sense, then who is correct. For instance, if you're not sure whether to say who or whom did we elect, just try to answer. Would you say we elected he or we elected him? you'd say we elected him, wouldn't you? So the correct phrase would be, whom did we elect? On the other hand, you wouldn't say him elected Rawlings. It would be he elected Rawlings. So the correct phrase would be who elected Rawlings, not whom elected Rawlings. You get it? Good. So now when you hear whom am I, you know what to do.
You get it. If you don't get it,
forget about it. What Kojo said, you get it. In there, I thought you were going to say you don't get it, forget about it.
So that was Say It Right, brought to you by Kingdom Books and Stationery and Societe Generale Bank Ghana. The future is you. Now, Kingdom Books has the special back to school promo happening. They are giving you 15% discount on all school items, including pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and more, across all their branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takoradi, Winneba, and Cape Coast. You can call them on 0302-764101, or you go online, shop online, kingdomstoreonline.com. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're running an SME, SG Bank, that is Societe Generale Ghana, believes in your dreams and they know you deserve the right support. That's why they have the special access to financing and banking solutions for your SME through the SME loans promo. It's running from now till September. If you're looking for a loan to drive growth, the Boafo loan is there for you. They have the finance lease solution. They have the factoring and invoice discounting solutions, and a lot of other solutions for SMEs. So whatever your business goals are, Societe Generale Ghana has the expertise and solutions to help you achieve them. Visit the nearest branch today or visit societegenerale.com.gh for more information. You can also call 0302-214-314. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you. Kojo.
Time for the news review, brought to you by Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough, Kel charcoal toothpaste, Happy Smile, and of course, Star Oil, quality and affordable fuels for all.
The Daily Guide, tribunals are kangaroo courts. Minority leader speaking tough there, the front page. Move beyond remittance to investment. That is the Gold Board CEO to diaspora. And the UCC must produce job-ready graduates. Sam Jonah Damek criticizes Sedina Tamakloe's acquittal and man jailed 10 years for defiling stepdaughter.
The Tema Oil Refinery got the trumpet this morning, and the Daily Graphic has a big front page story for Tema Oil Refinery. Tore back in full operation. President Mahama commissions refurbished facilities. Greater Works 2026 begins today. Don't assent to tribunal bill, stop harassing opponents, minority government, and Ghana Integrated Petroleum Hub, Touchstone Capital Partners, rallies $12 million investment for phase one. 12 billion, sorry, not million, $billion for phase one.
The BNFT customs bill leaves key duty questions unresolved. PwC urges business caution, says second half set to test economy, and RNAQ Food Bank serves 3 million meals in first year alone. I see. Pension assets surpass 120 billion Ghana cedis as NPRA pushes for wider coverage. And then in community banking, Echumam Punya Community Bank records 26.17 million profit. Shareholders to get 45% return on current 20 pesos per share.
If you go to graphic business, Standard Chartered Tops Banker Pay League. Standard Chartered Tops Banker Pay League. Absa EcoBank in high payroll spend. They have a league of the banks that pay their staff better. Yeah. And
so my relationship manager, I'm a friend, I'm in Sankano.
She's chopping money. Cheaper loans face test as bond yields rise. That's also on the front page of graphic business. Building cost inflation rises to 3.1%, and mineral income investment funds 1.1 billion 2025 profit explained.
The Inquisitor, Delta Air in a mess, makes passengers to Ghana stranded for days at the JFK. I mean, every now and then, more American, you see a lot about JFK, Delta, but well, let's see if something changes. And then Gold Ball's CEO is talking about shifting from remittances to investment as he addresses the African diaspora. Julius Deborah urges KNUST to run research into jobs And then Parliament approves landmark cocoa board reform.
If you go to the news center, the Gold Board CEO is here. Gemfi calls for diaspora-led investment in Africa. The NPA boss is also here. Auditors flag 648.6 million Ghana cedis unpaid, 648.6 million that the NPA paid to RASL without evidence of verified maintenance works. And fuel prices, the surge is biting consumers hard. This story is in the news center. And NPP declares the 6th of August demo for... they are going to demonstrate over the rule of law concerns that they've raised. And farmers who change cocoa to other crops risk jail. This is the new cocoa board bill.
Yeah.
You'll be giving us more information on the new bills later, right? Okay.
The Ghanaian point: don't rush. Qualified applicants will be called soon. That is the National Security Coordinator assuring applicants. And President Mahama fulfills promise to security chiefs. NPP to stage democracy under attack protest on August 6th over Sedina Tamakloe acquittal. Mahama commissions refurbished tall crude distillation unit, commends management for turnaround, and VACO staff jubilate as lands minister clarifies company is not for sale, assures government is rather seeking a strategic investor.
Now, the Today newspaper: court seeks CJ warrant to sit in vacation after Tamakloe case stall. Mahama appeals for peace as late Yane's son named the regent. EPA urges styrofoam ban after plastics found in human placenta. And the big story from the Today newspaper: rice, chicken drive Ghana's 36.5 billion imports in 2025. Rice, chicken. There's also sugar and oils. But it's surprising that in a period where there are a lot of interventions for rice and poultry, right? Spent from some foreign donors and other institutions, we are still not producing enough, and we are rather importing more. Somebody should really break down what's happening in these two industries for Ghanaians to understand.
As for the rice, I mean, I'm sick and tired of talking about it. We understand the problem. We know what is needed
we have
in
the
order
capacity
to solve it. We can fix it, but we won't. All right. As for the chicken, clearly, Nkuko Funu Akese has defeated Nkuko Nketenkete. Yet we are about to do it again. We are about to spend even more money on Nkuko Nketenkete. A business model that didn't work. Anyway. It ended up just being free meat for people to eat.
Yeah, but the minister says the people eating has been a substitute for imported chicken. It's also
what?
Again.
I'm sorry,
the fact
what?
that the people got the chicken to eat meant that they were not buying imported chicken or spending money, any extra money on chicken. So that is an additional gain from the project. And
he said that.
But when he was asked in Parliament, he said people were eating the chicken, and the fact that they've eaten the chicken means that they were not buying imported chicken or buying. At least that's how I can paraphrase.
So that was the aim all along.
Yes, the aim was one, to ensure that people became poultry farmers, sustainable poultry farmers, who could build and grow their business, and also ensure Ghanaians eat the chicken. And the farmers were Ghanaians, so they've also eaten chicken.
Does he realize that we couldn't have achieved both of those goals?
We could have easily.
How?
If we planned the project well and executed it well.
No, if the goal was to give people 250 million cedis worth of chicken to eat, so that they don't buy foreign
5 to 10
that they don't
chicken
buy
per person,
so that they don't buy foreign chicken,
and we give around 5 million birds or something like that.
Achieving that goal could not also allow them to achieve the goal of creating poultry farmers. You are either eating the chicken or you are rearing it. You can't do both.
Kojo, and then people are rearing the chicken. You don't want them to eat the chicken. What should they eat?
So if you rear it and you eat it, are you a poultry farmer?
Both. Let's go online, Kojo.
Online review is brought to you this morning by Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
And you should shine your eye when someone calls claiming to be from Zenith Bank. Fraudsters can sound professional, confident, and convincing. They may ask you to confirm your account details to help resolve a supposed problem or secure your account. Remember, Zenith Bank will never ask for your PIN, password, or OTP over the telephone, email, or via any channel. You can call them direct on 0542 000111. Shine your eyes, spot the fraud, stop the fraud. A message from Zenith Bank in partnership with the Ghana Association of Banks.
MyJoyOnline.com. Fuel prices could change daily as bulk oil distributors abandon fixed pricing model, and political parties should move towards open primaries to deepen internal democracy. Professor Kwesi Prempeh there. He'll be on PM Express live this evening. When they come for you, send them to me. Sam Jonas' message to new UCC Vice Chancellor. A university waiting for government money is planning its own funeral. Sam Jonah again speaking. Court saved Ghana referendum cost by striking down delegate system. Professor Kwesi Prempeh speaking. And Samit Ewuku questions government for fresh fuel price hikes. Demand answers on levy promise.
Now let me take you to citynewsroom.com. Stop speaking negatively about Ghana. Believe in its future. This is President Mahama speaking. We should stop speaking negatively about Ghana. We should believe in its future. That's a good admonition. He spoke at church yesterday. ISA questions cost of fiscal stabilization as CAPEX misses target by 41%. ECG announces planned power outages in parts of Volta and Oti. And mountain of evidence was ignored. Alfred Tua Yeboah criticizes Sedina's Akoto, and fire sweeps through girls' dormitory at Wa Islamic Senior High School. On illegal mining, 15 illegal miners arrested after viral Obuasi School Galamsey video, and ECOWAS to donate $250,000 to Ghana flood victims. Quickly, let's get the details.
Yes, let's talk about Sami Jemfi's admonition to Ghanaians in the diaspora to move beyond remittance to investment. That story is on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. It says Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, Samuel Jemfi, has called on the African diaspora to transition from being, quote, an emergency support system to becoming, quote, strategic co-architects of the continent's transformation, warning that Africa's rise must be owned by Africans. Speaking at the EMI Africa Rising Symposium in London, Mr. Jemfi said the growing relationship between Africa and its global diaspora must now be converted into capital that builds institutions that endure and ownership that keeps more African value in African values. The quote from the story is, the question is not whether the African global diaspora loves Africa. The challenge is whether that love can be organized into institutions, funds, businesses, standards, partnerships, and long-term commitments that outlive emotions. He told the gatherings of industry and leaders in the diaspora professionals. Yes, that's
I've had this view for forever.
From the days you were in the diaspora.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
That, if you look at the amount of money that we send, back home to our relatives, just for consumption, if you start to then put your imagination to what could be achieved if we were sending similar amounts for investment, then you start to see what's possible. Yeah.
Let me give you the import story. It was in the papers on Friday, but we couldn't get deeper into it. But this morning, the Today newspaper has it. Rice, chicken drive Ghana's 36.5 billion Ghana cedi imports in 2025. The story says Ghana spent more than 36.5 billion Ghana cedis importing food products in 2025, with cereal, grains, frozen chicken, and animal products accounting for a significant share of the imports. The latest annual international merchandise trade statistics report by the Ghana Statistical Service puts the value of food imports at 36.46 billion Ghana cedis, highlighting continued dependence on foreign supplies to meet demand for key food commodities. Processed cereal grains were Ghana's largest food imports, valued at 2.94 billion Ghana cedis, and accounting for 8.1% of total food imports. Now, guys, listen to this. Frozen chicken ranked second at 2.84 billion Ghana cedis, followed by, this is the scary bit, scary, crazy, funny, sad, all combined, animal guts, bladders, and stomachs. So, my dear, okay, cereals were number 1, frozen chicken number 2, Yemadia was at number 3 at 2.72 billion Ghana cedis. When I started tracking Yemadia imports into the country, it was around 54 million Ghana cedis. Animal guts, bladders, and stomachs at a cost of 2.72 billion Ghana cedis. And rice featured twice among the country's top food imports. Semi-milled or wholly milled rice was valued at 2.39 billion Ghana cedis, while broken rice accounted for another 1.19 billion Ghana cedis.
I have a question. Which country's guts do we prefer to Ghanaian guts? Yeah, which country's guts is so much preferred to Ghanaian guts?
We are not producing enough livestock.
We are told that the thing that is driving our huge import bill is our tastes.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So which country's guts?
Unfortunately, there is not a specific country's guts.
Just as long as the guts are not Ghanaian, we like it. We like them.
You know the animal husbandry thing. This big conversation we had about Fulani some time ago, which we didn't really resolve. We don't produce enough livestock here in the country. So the countries that produce enough livestock, the guts, they don't eat it. They would usually trash it or convert it into manure or compost or
sell it
or animal feed. And then some Ghanaians realize that if you go to Brazil, if you go to Holland and those places, your friend Bruni, they used to give them out for free. Then they made them know that this thing is the business. Money. So they started packing it, and it's now over 2 billion Ghana cedis. From 54 million 5 years ago to 2 billion Ghana cedis. There's something wrong with us as a country, Kweku.
Well, let me do this story on the Cocoa Board Reform Bill. Parliament has approved the Ghana Cocoa Board Bill, paving the way for major restructuring of Ghana's cocoa industry through a new government framework, an alternative financing model, and legal guarantees aimed at improving farmers' incomes and expanding local value addition. So, for instance, in this new bill, the FOB price, farmers will get 70% all the time, constant. It is now written into law. And that is in this story in the Inquisitor newspaper. Presenting the bill during the second reading in Parliament, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako said the provisions was meant to safeguard farmers' earnings from future policy reversals. Quote, we should legislate this so that it becomes binding and no one can decide tomorrow to reduce the farmers' share from 70 to 60%. Another story in the Inquisitor that is very interesting. Delta Airline in a mess. Delta Airlines, which serves passengers from the JFK airport in the U.S., to the Accra International Airport in Ghana last week, created huge inconvenience for passengers traveling to Ghana. For 3 days, passengers were stranded in the USA, with the airline officials offering different reasons for the inability to fly to Accra. It all started on August 28th after passengers had checked in, only to be told that there was poor visibility, so the flight had been cancelled, which was well understood by the passengers because of their own safety. Then the next day, the passengers were told that the aircraft meant to fly them to Accra was faulty. Arrangements were made on the third day to fly the passengers to Ghana, but smoke reportedly detected from the aircraft engine after the takeoff, and therefore the craft had to return to JFK.
Okay.
It goes on and on and on.
Let me give you some other stories from the news center. Farmers who change from cocoa to other crops risk jail.
Yeah.
You read that story. Later, I'll let you give us a breakdown of all the bills that were passed in Parliament. Fuel prices surge, biting consumers hard. Prices of petroleum products have recorded a sharp increase at fuel stations across the country, with oil marketing companies adjusting their pump prices upwards from Saturday. The latest increases, which will remain in effect until August 15, under Ghana's bi-weekly fuel price review system, have pushed the cost of petrol and diesel significantly higher, adding further pressure on consumers and businesses. So petrol is around 15 liters per liter. Let's put it there. Diesel is around 18.7719 Ghana cedis per liter, and that is a big problem for a lot of us. But I'm still looking at the story on the imports. It's also on page 10. I'm not sure there's any country in this world that imports as much yemadeɛ as Ghana. Like we used to be the number one importers of Obroniwewu. I'm sure we are now the number one importer of yemadeɛ in the world, and it's coming up to
Just
7.
like people's rubbish.
At 7, we bring you the BBC News. It's brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us, Glyco, we cushion you for life. Oba Spaghetti, it's made for you. Call your people, call your crew, come chop every day. Chop Oba. You know, go stop. Oba, come chop everybody. Chop. And your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy amazing benefits, lower interest rates, higher loan amounts, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. It's time to switch and smile wider with Fidelity Bank. And you can learn more by calling them on 0800 003 or you visit fidelitybank.com.gh. And if you're planning a trip abroad, don't wait until you're stranded in a foreign country. Get covered with Glyco travel insurance before you fly. From medical emergencies and flight delays to lost luggage, Glyco has you covered every step of the way. So visit Glyco Life 0555 305 547. That's their phone number 0555 305 547, or any branch. Travel smart, travel protected. Glyco will cushion you for life. My technicians have prompted me that we have a technical challenge, so we cannot bring you the BBC news. So Kweku, take us to Parliament.
Yeah.
Friday, Parliament brought this session to an end, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of things happened. There are a lot of laws that have been passed.
Yeah.
Please share with us.
Yeah, it appeared to be one of the busy meetings of Parliament. 12 bills passed in total. A lot of them, of course, brought in controversy and all of that. So the first bill that was passed by this Parliament in this second meeting, obviously to send a signal about what its priorities was the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, what is popularly called the Anti-LGBTQ Bill. It was passed on the 29th of May 2026. As we speak, that bill is still yet to make its way to the President because, of course, again, it's embroiled in controversy. There are some in Parliament who believe that they've passed a watered-down Parliament, and so they wanted to rescind it and then insert a few more provisions. But that has been fiercely resisted by the majority leader in particular, who said that Parliament's job is done. If anything is to be done, they should send that bill to the President, who must indicate his assent or not. If there are challenges, the President can bring the bill back to Parliament and Parliament will consider it. So as far as he's concerned, that bill will not be reconsidered. The Speaker of Parliament went about making certain promises to certain people. In fact, on Thursday, he was at the Chief Imam's place. He promised that the bill will be rescinded and repassed on Friday. That did not happen, obviously, because he could not do it, or he could not get the buy-in of the majority leader. And so that bill is still on the burner. We'll get to see if within this break, and this is a very long break, they'll come back around the end of October.
I see.
Yeah, whether or not they will present this bill to Parliament. Then there was the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority bill, which also changes some of the minimum requirements, the financing arrangements between Ghanaians and their foreign partners and all of that. That was also passed on the 25th of June. The Community Service Bill, one of the bills that I liked very much, was also passed on the 8th of July. This bill will ensure that if you commit certain offenses, misdemeanors, you can serve your sentence outside of the prison. You can get some community sentence, you can clean up and all of that. We see that elsewhere. We don't have that. So this bill is to put in place the framework to ensure that we can implement Community Service Bill. Then there was the Maritime and Related Offences Bill. It was passed on the 30th of June. The National Defence University Ghana Bill was passed in July.
What is that about?
The Maritime and Related Offences.
No, the National Defence University.
Well, we are
Ghana
setting up
Bill.
a university to be called the National Defence University.
Does it mean that all the training institutions for the armed forces are going to be put together as
a lot of them will still be standalone, but we are just going to get a big university which will train our armed forces, individuals like
to have its own presidential charter.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that you can just go in there and do some of these defense courses. And so that has also been passed, awaiting the assent of the President. And then the very controversial one, the Tribunals Bill that the NPP has said is bringing back the reign of terror, was also passed.
That's one of the reasons they are going on demo on the 6th of August.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was also passed. And in fact, on the last bad one, the penultimate day, the bill was rescinded and it was passed again. There was some insertion as to who gets to appoint the judges for the tribunals at the district level, at the regional level. So that was also done. The Customs Bill, Excise Bill, and the Value Added Tax Bill all came with the mid-year budget review. They've all been passed. For instance, the 20% excise on fruit juice have now been removed and all of that. The Energy Sector Levies Amendment Bill was also passed to deal with fuel oil and the issues with people who were getting subsidies and then using the fuel oil for something else. The government wanted to change that, and so that was done. And then the other one having to do with the Ghana Cocoa Board Bill, which has made seismic changes to the issues with cocoa growing in this country. For instance, now if you own a cocoa farm, and as it has always been, but it's been like a policy of sort, Now it's in the law. If you have a cocoa farm, you can't just decide that one day you cut all your trees and go and plant rice or maize or something else.
What if cocoa is not serving
You have
my
to
needs?
go to Randiabe. You have to go through a certain
Wait, I have land,
processes.
and I've planted cocoa,
Yeah.
and the industry is not meeting my family's needs. So I want to go into vegetables.
The government considers cocoa a national security crop, and it's part of our national
So
security.
is the government going to support farmers better? For example, if I want to go into cocoa farming,
Really?
will the government give me bulldozers to clear my land, excavators to build irrigation, give me everything I need to set up so that the government also have skin in the game? Or if I do my investment, the fact that I've done investment and it's in that area, the government now practically owns it and my decision making.
I have a hot take on cocoa. I think that Ghana suffers from Stockholm syndrome when it comes to cocoa. The crop is making us miserable, but we seem enslaved to it. We think that it is the only way we can be prosperous. And we are completely wrong.
One of the ways.
No. We think it's the only way. Look at the laws we are passing. Now you could go to jail if you decide that you don't want to be a cocoa farmer anymore.
Once
I mean,
on a cocoa
what is
farmer,
that?
then you can say that you don't want to be, but
But
you have
you
to
can't
go
touch
through a
your
certain
concession.
process to just raise down the entire cocoa farm or give it out to legal
Your
miners and
own
all of
land,
that.
your own crop, your own decision.
We'll come back
Now
to
you have to
this.
go through a process. Otherwise, you go to jail.
Brilliant. Quick one. You know, in the NDC manifesto, they promised that they will give 70% of the FOB price to farmers. Now it's written into law.
Okay.
And then the last one on that cocoa board bill is the cocoa pension scheme for cocoa farmers. Cocoa farmers will now get a pension and all of that. All of that is in the bill.
And the energy sector levies bill as well.
Yeah.
I know there was an income tax amendment bill.
Income
as well.
tax amendment bill was also passed on the 29th.
Are all these bills available publicly? Say, if I go to the Parliament of Ghana website, can I download these bills?
It should.
Can I
It should.
download the committee
Reports.
considerations and the reports on these bills for my personal?
I mean, ordinarily you should. What happens is that it will be put there belatedly. So after a week or two, you see that. That's why this morning I was complaining, for instance, that I've never had to ask anybody that I want this Supreme Court judgment from US. Every time, right now, I can just log on.
So
I'll
you
see
being
all
a
the
parliamentary
filings.
correspondent, you don't have copies of the
Well,
bills?
I have copies because they're presented in the House and I've made scans and all of that. But on the website of Parliament itself, it will take days
Kweku,
before it
Fabra
will come
and
there.
break it down for listeners. Right. Thank you so much, Kweku. And thank you, Kojo. This was an extended newspaper review because we couldn't bring you the BBC News. We'll fix the technical challenges and bring you the BBC News in subsequent days. We are going for a quick break. This is the Super Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Right behind me is Agbogloshi Market, and this is what is sitting between stalls right under people's feet, right where they buy their food. In June, this city flooded again, and a lot of what caused it starts right here. Hundreds of people pass through this station every single day. So does all of this. This has probably been here for days, maybe longer, and somehow it's still here. Tomorrow, next week, and probably next month. We've spent 2 episodes on why Accra floods. Today is about what is sitting in plain sight this whole time. This is what is sitting in our markets. This is what is blocking our drains. More than a month ago, this city flooded again. We've spent 2 episodes asking why. The history, the illegal buildings sitting on our waterways. But today, we are looking at something a lot simpler, a lot dirtier, and honestly, a lot more avoidable. This is what is sitting in our drains, our markets, our streets right now. And this is not even during the floods, but rather today, on a normal day. And here's the part that should really bother you. We've already paid to fix this. Today, we're going to talk about the filth we walk past, the levy we've all been paying for at the fuel pump without realizing it, and the 2-day cleanup exercise that turned out to be a lot more complicated than it looked. Let's get right into it. This is Joy News Explains, and I'm Jacqueline Ansima Yaboa. Let's start with what we saw today, and we actually have no script for this part, just what is actually there. Now, this is Agbogloshi Market, and what you see is rubbish sitting between the stalls, in the walkways, wherever there's space. Now, this drain isn't blocked by nature. It's blocked by this: plastic, sachet bags, styrofoam. And this is the same drain that is supposed to carry rainwater away during the next flood, or let me say the next storm. Look, this episode is going to talk a lot about money, about a levy,
about where funds went, and that matters. We'd actually get there. But if we make this episode only about the government, we'd be lying to you, because what we filmed, most of it wasn't a failure of infrastructure. It was just someone deciding the ground was the bin. Nobody needs a policy to stop doing this. Nobody needs a 2 billion Ghana cedis release to stop doing this. This part is actually free. This part is just discipline. So keep both of these in your head as we go through this. And yes, there is a funding story here, and it's actually the real one. But the filth itself, a lot of it is simply acts. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. Every time you buy fuel, petrol, diesel, a small part of that price isn't going to fuel. It's going to sanitation. So I asked Jason of our research desk to break down exactly what that is.
It's called the Sanitation and Pollution Levy. It was introduced under the Energy Sectors Levies Act. Here's how it works. For every single liter of petrol or diesel sold in this country, 10 pesos goes into this fund. And the objective was actually really specific. This money was meant to fund things like improving air quality, building and upgrading waste treatment facilities, supporting landfill management, running fumigation and disinfection exercises, and building sanitation facilities to help eliminate open defecation. So we see that there are real objectives, as well as real monies collected every time any of us fills a tank or decides to buy fuel. The question is, where has it actually gone?
So let's follow the money, because this is where it gets interesting. Now, 2 billion 30 million Ghana cedis collected since 2021. Of that, 1.5 billion Ghana cedis had been spent by the end of 2024.
And here's where it's important to be precise. As for the 298 million Ghana cedis collected in 2025, there has been no official account yet of how that money has been used. What that means is that the money collected in 2025, no one has actually accounted for it. Not even a partial account of any sort. Not a small amount, zero, on one of the levy's actual named core objectives. And here's what's sitting in the account right now. As at the end of 2024, the sanitation and pollution account held 180.5 million Ghana cedis. Are the 298 million Ghana cedis collected through 2025, and assuming there have been no withdrawals we don't know about, the account could hold roughly 478 million Ghana cedis today.
Nearly 500 million Ghana cedis sitting there, while the drains we filmed today looked exactly like they did before any of this money was ever collected. Now, after the floods, the government tried to respond and bring in some interventions, and the president, John Dramani Mahama, declared Friday, 10th July and Saturday, 11 July 2026 as National General Cleaning Days across regions hit by the floods. And basically, the idea was to get citizens out to clean up, prevent disease outbreaks after all that standing in water. On paper, that sounds like a reasonable, even a good idea, but it quickly became a legal argument. Samson Ladi, a private legal practitioner, also a journalist and the host of Joy FM's News File, came out and said compelling citizens to participate in that cleanup exercise is actually illegal. His point wasn't that the cleanup was a bad idea, but his point was narrower and honestly more important than it sounds. You can't compel a citizen to participate in a national exercise unless there is an actual legal basis for it at the local assembly level with a real bylaw behind it. And that lands strangely next to everything we showed you earlier. We have 500 million Ghana cedis sitting in an account meant for exactly this kind of sanitation work. But the response to the crisis wasn't, here's a funded plan. It was a 2-day call for volunteer labor, one that a legal expert said the government couldn't actually enforce. So here is where this leaves us. And it's really two things, not one. We are paying every time we fill a tank into a fund, specially meant to keep the city clean and to prevent exactly the kind of filth we filmed. Over 2 billion Ghana cedis collected since 2021. 0 cedis of it spent on eliminating open defecation, despite that being one of the levy's own stated goals. And that is a real accountability question that someone needs to answer for. But the rubbish in that drain we showed you at the start, a lot of that wasn't sitting there because government failed to release a fund. It was sitting there because maybe someone watching this episode right now, decided that it was easier than walking 10 more steps to a bin. Both things are true at once. Government owes us an account of nearly 500 million cedis sitting unused. And we owe our own streets a lot better than what we filmed today. And we don't need permission, a levy, or a presidential directive to start with that part. We keep asking why Accra floods. Maybe the honest answer is it's not one failure, it's actually two. And only one of them cost money to fix. I'm Jacqueline Ansmaibwa, and this has been Joy News Explains. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Samson, good morning to your distinguished guest, my friend, my good friend.
Yes.
And Oliver Bakabomo, and my good friend to you as well. First, let me say that criminal trial commences with investigations. Now, investigations, it could be the law enforcement, whether it's Yoko, whether it's police, whether it's...
In this case, it was Yoko.
Yoko. Now, the normal circumstances, when you go there, then they will ask you to write your statement, whether it's ordinary statement, whether it's a caution statement, depending on the information that you have to give them. Now, after you give them information, or what you know about what they are investigating, then they say, well, if it's about caution statements, you say, well, we're telling you, put your statement down, whatever you say will be against you in the court of law. These are your own rights, you are told, and then you write it down. If you write it down, you are giving bail, and then you go home, they continue the investigation. At the end of the day, if they have a compelling case, they can go to court against you, they file your charges against you, and then you don't appear in court. You are given a court bail, and then the trial continues. Let me state that it is the burden on the prosecution, and it rests on them throughout the trial to make sure that they put the case against the accused person beyond reasonable doubt. However, it is not beyond a shadow of doubt. All right? So the burden rests in the entire case on the prosecution. However, evidential burden may shift in the course of the trial onto the accused person to answer certain questions which may come and you must proffer an answer. But you must understand that the entire burden, the onus of proof, is on the prosecution throughout the trial. Now, if at the end of the day, prosecutor is able to produce enough evidence to demonstrate to the high court or whatever court that is dealing with the matter, that in case they have made a case against the accused person, the next stage is that the accused person will call upon to answer. Make a submission, whether it's of no case or whatever it is. In this case, the accused person has pondered the jurisdiction and traveled after they never came back. That notwithstanding, the burden still rests on the prosecution to submit the guilt of the accused person beyond reasonable doubt. What do we find here? The High Court convicted the accused person and the two of them on all the counts. Now, an appeal was filed, we are told, was filed within time. What is concerned to me is that how the appeal got filed and was never served on the what do you call it? The
Attorney General.
The Attorney General is a bit baffling. But you must understand that the fact of an appeal being filed and the fact of an appeal being served are two different things. You can file an appeal, all right, but it may not be served. The service of an appeal is done by the registry or the register of the court on the other affected parties. Here we are being told the appeal was filed within time, yes. And we have been told that the appeal was not brought to the notice of the Attorney General until recent matters where even we are now told that it came to bear that in fact an appeal was filed at that time. But it must also be made point and clear that you see that yes, the appeal was filed, but the appeal was not prosecuted within time. It wasn't. And then recently we were told that they came for leave of court to enable them.
So what I wanted is that we'll get into the detail. I wanted your preliminary view of the judgment overturning the convictions?
I have read the judgment in its entirety. There are portions of the judgment I tend to agree with the Court of Appeal. There are portions of the judgment I think that was an overstretch, but it tends to place a very high burden on prosecutors to prove the guilt of an accused person without a shadow of doubt. That I have a problem with that one.
Good morning to all the ladies listening to us this morning. This is especially for you.
She gon' steal my heart,
Step out there, walk like a boss, deliver like a boss, because you were made to be bosses. You were made to be excellent. You were made to be special. So this song goes out to all the ladies listening to us this morning, including Kweku's future wife that we don't know yet. It brings us to 7:20. This is the Super Morning Show. This morning we are talking about the BECE results. We'll speak to WAEC to get updates on the results, how you can check your results, and any issues that you need us to address. So if you have any questions for WAEC, send them to us on 055-1111-997. And how are you coping with the fuel price increases? From 11 point something in January to 15 cedis in August for petrol, almost 19 cedis for diesel. How are you coping? How is your business dealing with this? How is your family dealing with this? How is your pocket reacting? Personally, like I said earlier, I do about 800 liters of diesel fuel a month, and my budget has increased by 18,000 since January. The extra I've spent on diesel, fuel prices, not just diesel, petrol and diesel for my farm, for my home and myself. How is it affecting you? This morning we'll get deeper into this conversation. The increases mean you're losing money. How are you balancing the equation, managing everything? And look, we'll also talk about the food import conversation. We'll talk about it because poultry, grains, rice, and all those things are increasing. And from the Ghana Statistical Service, Yemadie, Tao, runabout, all those things, brebo, all those things are being imported from Brazil. They are being imported from the Netherlands. So Brazil, Netherlands, Ireland, United Kingdom, Poland, okay, with even Italy entering the charts of countries we are importing these things from. Where did we go wrong as a country? Because when we're kids in school, Ghana is an agri country. We can't grow enough food, grow enough animals, and we are importing over 1 billion Ghana cedis worth of Yemadie into the country to eat. We'll talk about all those coming up.
Ghana is an agri country like Ghana is a football country. Miranda sent this in. She says, could you tell Akoto to lower his voice? My husband just got paid. I'm not an independent woman.
So I've lowered my voice. And Koko in Aodo Majesty says, good morning, Kojo. Please, could you explain why you'll be jailed for not refusing to continue your cocoa farm, or why you want to change your cocoa, the use of your cocoa farmlands? We'll break all that down for you later on the show. This message says, Kojo, good morning. The trend of women applying makeup when driving is becoming a problem. A lady almost ran into me because she was focused on her rear view mirror instead of paying attention. They should stop doing that. Okay, thank you for sending this. And Eben in Kwabenya says, I'll read your message later. But this morning we are talking to WAEC. We are talking about fuel price increases. We are talking about the food imports tragedy. I think that's the right word to use. It's a tragedy that we are importing all these things into the country. A country with water, land, people to work, and all those. Coming up on the Super Morning Show. But from now till the end of October 2026, Bank of Africa is offering you short-term loans at very slim rates to salaried workers. They understand you have urgent needs to sort out. That's why they give you that quick turnaround time with their quick fix loans. So visit the nearest branch or chat Fafa at boaghana.com to sign up. You may also WhatsApp 0244-338226. You just WhatsApp your name and say, I need a quick fix, and somebody will call you back and sort you out. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Have you heard about the incredible benefits of Exilium from Total Energies? Let me tell you more about this premium fuel with this amazing 3-in-1 power. Total Energies introduces Exilium new formula, the additive enriched fuel with its powerful 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends the life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Thanks to the cumulative effect of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives, Exilium new formula also lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing carbon dioxide emissions. You will drive, sir. Experience the difference with Total Energy's Exilium new formula. Choose Exilium, choose quality.
Charlie, Kogu.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Your phone buzzes and you realize that Cowbank has just credited your account with 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Hey,
just
babe.
like that.
Hey, 50 million.
Abakade. Yes, and that's what a lot of people, that will be the reaction by a lot of people. Abakade or Aseti or Asu. But this is Abakade. And that is exactly what is happening right now with the Cowbank Abakade promo. Here is all you have to do. Deposit 500 cedis or more into your Cowbank account and stay fully active. Every month, 5 lucky winners take home 5,000 Ghana cedis cash. And at the end of the day, at the grand draw, one fully active Cowbank customer will walk away with 100,000 Ghana cedis. The best part is that the more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. You can deposit straight from your Cowbank app or USSD via mobile money, or at any Cowbank branch or agent near you. You can also use any of their cash accepting ATMs. There is no excuse for you to do this, okay? Don't sleep on this one. 500 Ghana cedis deposits or that or more in your Cowbank account and win big in the Abakade promo. The promo runs from the 1st of August to 31st of October 2026. Cowbank Forward Together. Terms and conditions apply. And this promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform. Inti Ayeden Abakade from Cowbank.
Yes, welcome to Heritage Christian University, located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. At Heritage, you are assured of values-driven education that prepares you for the world of work and challenges you to turn ideas into business that feed families and employ communities. Admission is in progress for a wide range undergraduate and graduate programs. Call 0547 777731 or 0532 373100 or visit www.hcu.edu.gh for more information. Heritage Christian University, education, compassionate, entrepreneurial leaders.
And Valex Nice is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. They're empowering you to do business right. It's Ghana's leading photocopier leasing company. So don't go buy a multifunctional photocopier when you can lease and pay as you copy and print, or design your own payment plan. Okay, with Valex Lease, they have the A4, A3 heavy duty MFP with sorter, stapler, finisher. They have the production machine with sorter, stapler, finisher. And if you lease any of these, you get free toners and cartridges, free repairs, free maintenance, follow me printing, centralized monitoring of all staff, and nationwide coverage. So forget about the unnecessary expensive gimmicks and save yourself over 60% cost. Join the hundreds of satisfied customers across every sector and all the 16 regions. Visit valexlease.com or call 0244 64 4048. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Oh yeah. With all the rain we've been experiencing lately, getting to bus stations can be stressful. Flooded roads, long queues, and the uncertainty of travel can make an already difficult journey even harder. That's why more travelers are choosing Oya Bus Ride, the app that puts you in control of your intercity travel. With Oya Bus Ride, you can book your trip from your phone, choose your preferred seat, select your pickup location, track your journey, and even monitor driver behavior for added peace of mind. No sanitation, no station stress, no unnecessary hassle, just convenient travel designed around you. A pilot route currently operates between Accra and Kumasi, and with the Oya app, you can choose a route that works best for you. Download the Oya Bus Ride app today on Google Play Store or the App Store and discover why your journey should begin on your phone. Oya Bus Ride, no giddy giddy. Oya, let's go.
And the Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa returns August 12th to 15th at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel here in Ghana, in Accra. It's convening HR professionals, business executives, policymakers, and industry leaders from 15 plus countries for 4 days of immersive experience in HR, AI, leadership, and workforce transformation. To be joined by Honorable Rashid Pelpo, Labour Minister, Michael D'Ambrose, Fortune 50 HR and Transformation Leader, Daniel Vargas of Microsoft, Clancy of LinkedIn, Dr. Duku of CIHRM, Nwobi of PwC Nigeria, Martin Karagu of Due Local Payroll, and more. A lot of people are coming. Expect keynotes, panels, innovation labs, master classes, exhibitions, tours, plus sponsors and exhibitors, including SHRM, LinkedIn, MTN, PwC, Due Local Payroll, Atlas Copilot, CIFA, and more. Visit gchrafrica.com or you call 055-408-1727. That is 055-408-1727.
Ghana, let's talk water tanks. You know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, it is not the correct tank. That is right. The tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is the champion of all water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. Rain or shine, Syntex tank has your back. So my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have a tortoise on it, it is time to upgrade. Join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that is tough like a tortoise. Call 024-335-168 to buy now or find one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough.
And this August, the Super Morning Show is done pretending. Sustainability is something we are going to talk about. And it's not just planting trees. It's whether the systems we depend on actually last, whether the lights stay on, water reaches the bucket, food that nourishes people instead of rotting away, roads that take us home instead of taking our lives. When things keep failing, that's a sustainability crisis. So this month, we are asking why land gas still run in our neighborhoods. Why food rots in bins while neighbors sleep hungry? Why the road that killed your cousin still has no signage? Why half the water you pay for never reaches your bucket? Uncomfortable, right? Good. That's the point. We're having these conversations on the Joy Sustainability Month here on the Super Morning Show throughout August. And just use the hashtag Joy Sustains and Sustainability Month. We are going for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the birthday messages and sports center. But listen, she walks like a boss, talks like a boss, manicured nails to set the pedicure off. She's fly effortlessly and she moves like a boss. Okay? She is the independent woman. And trust me, Ghanaian women are awesome. So this morning at work, at home, wherever you find yourself, tell that woman you are awesome.
Oh, yes, lower voice. Right?
Tell the woman beside you right now that you are awesome. And find ways you can help our women in business thrive and grow, because when they do, we all benefit. When they make money, we they chop some. Quick break, we'll be back.
Fact of overturning the conviction, the sentencing. I thought maybe they could have asked for a trial de novo. A trial de novo, for they could come back to the High Court, especially on areas where the judgment was talking about the charges being defective. Maybe the state could withdraw the charges and put the person before the court for the matter to be tried de novo. But be that it may, the Attorney General says is going on.
Tried de novo means that they should start it all over again.
All over again, yeah.
And you're saying that the Court of Appeal could have made that order.
That order.
Instead of quashing the conviction and the sentencing.
And the sentencing, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And the sentencing.
Yes. What's your reading of the judgment?
Yeah. But you see, Honorable Fusini,
yeah,
this judgment as it stands, gives me hope to miss appeal. Yes, because
no, I don't have a problem.
Because if you read Wuntumi's judgment at the High Court and the manner with which the commission took place, and you just put that judgment vis-a-vis this particular judgment, then clearly I can tell the people that look, Wuntumi will succeed in the appeal.
Okay, Oliver.
Consideration.
Well, I feel the same way I felt when I first heard of the appeal and the outcome. There have been times in my life when I have asked myself whether it is even worth it. And this has been one of those instances that everybody knows that wrong has been done. But as things stand, nobody is going to account for the wrongdoing. And it hurts when you spend your time, you risk your life, and do all of these things. And this is just one of the many instances that I have done work with evidence, and it ended up nowhere.
And so, Ghanaians, you remember the ambulances matter? A total of amount of over 2.3 billion, was it?
Million euros.
Million euros was
because
involved.
that was also part of this documentary. So this was just part one.
Yeah.
The part two, I did the ambulances, spoke to Richard Japa and everybody, and there was also evidence that wrong was done. Those ambulances were also hidden at the Air Force base for years, and I don't know what eventually happened to them.
In the end, the state will still have to pay with money it doesn't have. Okay. Now, give me your preliminary view of the Court of Appeal decision, because you were excited when eventually in 2024, the court found the two guilty on all the 78 counts and sentenced them to 10 years and 5 years. The deputy who was sentenced to 5 years, I think he did 2 years and got bail pending appeal, and so he's out. Sedina herself, as we know, she ran away and eventually got arrested, got extradited, and she would have spent
Your birthday messages on the Super Morning Show brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, Bank of Africa BOA Pay from Bank of Africa offers a hassle-free solution for fee collection and other payments. Call or chat Fafa at boaghana.com for details. Franco Trading Enterprise still. Phone Papa Fie. Quick shouts to Kojo.
Yes, Kobe Hansen, my senior from Ogasco, celebrates his birthday today. Happens to be the husband of TV personality Kokui. Yes. Kokui Selome. Happy birthday to Kobe. Have a fantastic day. Also, belated happy birthday to the mother of my friend Peggy Asante. Peggy's mom is in Takrade, and her birthday was last week, so this is a belated birthday wish to her.
And happy birthday to you, Iraba Eduse of the Risk School in Kumasi. You are 12 today. It's from your father, Shantong, and from your mother and the whole family to you. This brings us to Sports Center, and Sports Center is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, switch to MTN's eSIM. Download my MTN app to go seamless today. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good. DSTV, your home of entertainment, and Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people. Some days business goes well, and some days one unexpected expense can throw all your plans off. That's part of the hustle. When you need a little support to keep things moving, Mesika by the Shiman Savings and Loans Day for you. If you're an MTN merchant, dial *171# to go to financial services, select loans, select Mesika, and follow the prompts. You could qualify for an instant loan of up to 5,000 Ghana cedis. In times like this, you say to yourself, Mesika Day for me.
Look, for over 130 years, Standard Chartered has been more than a bank. We've been a partner in progress. So from helping establish Ghana's financial system to building businesses and connecting them to the world, from helping generations grow and protect their wealth to powering innovation and helping communities to thrive. Today, we stand on 130 years of heritage to power your ambitions and unlock opportunities. 130 years of expertise to drive cross-border connections that move businesses forward, support your financial and wealth aspirations, and to sustainably impact communities. As always, we believe we can achieve more by partnering together. Standard Chartered, here for good.
If you're buying TVs, refrigerators, chest freezers, air conditioners, and you want a 5-year manufacturer defect warranty on the products you're buying, if you want peace of mind with every purchase, if you want convenience, it should be Hisense, okay? And Hisense has showrooms in East Legon, Kisiman, Achimota, Kumasi, Edum, Kumasi Tafo, Kumasi Tanosoma, Kesim, Takrade, Takwa, Obuasi, Ofrudia, Hot Voice, Unyani, Techiman, Tamale, Charlie. They are everywhere, and they are giving you the best for quality, best for durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. So visit their website, hisense.com.gh. Follow them online, Hisense Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Or you call them on 0302 5500 High sense, everyday prices for everyday people. Achwe!
Time for the Joy Sports Center. Before we get into it, let me say good morning to my elder brother, Godwin Tamakloe, the Chief Regulatory Risk and Compliance at the Mobile Money Fintech, and to your wife, Mami, as well. I hope the two of you are doing well. Well, let's begin with the just concluded 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, where a dramatic finish saw Team Ghana close out its campaign with 2 medals overall. On Saturday night, the men's 4x100-meter relay quartet initially celebrated a bronze medal finish after Canada's temporary disqualification. But an official counter-protest reinstated Canada, cruelly pushing Ghana down to 4th in a time of 38.13 seconds. For the women's relay team, they could not make the final after baton exchange issues. In the individual sprints, Joseph Polamo finished 7th in the 200-meter final in 20.47 seconds on Friday. Elsewhere in para-athletics, wheelchair racer Raphael Bochio Nkegbe also closed out his final Commonwealth Games appearance by finishing 8th in the men's 1,500-meter T54 final. He's now 47 years of age, and he navigated a wet rain-slick track in 3 minutes and 48.41 seconds.
It was a good race. Rain in the beginning on the track, sprayed on the pushing rim in the point. But in all, I can say to myself that I came represent Ghana, represent the National Paralympics Committee in the para sports, represent our president, Sam Sedin, who believe in we, the para-athletes, what we can do for the nation. But this is the end. For me, in terms of para participation in the Commonwealth game, I'm looking more to LA. As I said, this is my last Commonwealth.
That was Raphael Bochio Nkegbe, and as he said, for the 20 years that he's been representing Ghana, he's had to buy his own equipment for every single tournament where he's represented Ghana. Well, the country's first medal from the para-athletes is Zainabu Issa, who secured a silver medal in the women's F57 shot put events. The bronze medal came from boxer Ahmedu Mohamed in the men's 55 kg category. After 10 days of competition across 10 sports, a total of 215 gold medals were awarded at the games. Australia dominated the standings, winning 70 gold medals and 171 medals overall. Nigeria emerged as Africa's best performing nation, finishing 7th with 24 medals. Next, inside WAFCON. Inside WAFCON on the Joy Sports Center is brought to you in association with Bank of Africa and Goldfields Ghana Limited. Now, the Black Queens campaign suffered a major setback following a 1-0 defeat to Cameroon last night in their second Group D game that was secured by a controversial penalty. Lawrence Bedo reports from Casablanca.
The first half penalty strike from Enga Manga ensured that the Cameroonians pick up all 3 points against Ghana to go 6 points from 2 games in Group D, while Ghana remained on 3 points, having beaten Cape Verde in their first group game. The Black Queens thought they had secured an equalizer through Evelyn Bedu, who rose off the bench, but her goal was chalked off for an offside in the build-up following Doris Boduwe's early run. The Black Queens will now go onto the drawing board and ensure that they can rework their shortcomings in the game against Cameroon, and to make sure that they beat Mali by all means to advance into the quarterfinals of the competition, which will keep alive their hopes of playing at the 2027 Women's World Cup to be staged in Brazil, and also give them a chance of advancing into the semi-finals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, as well as go on to play in the final of the competition for the very first time in a long while and possibly get their hands on the trophy. But as far as their second group games in the WAFCON is concerned, the Black Queens last won a game in 2008, which means it's been 18 years since they last achieved that feat. 18 years of no victory in their second round of group games. From Casablanca, Lawrence Beidou for Joy Sports.
Well, Black Queens head coach Kim Lassie-Okegwen, he wants his team to be a bit more aggressive going forward.
It was a physical game. I felt that Cameroon played more physical, especially in the first half, than us. They won almost every 50-50 duel, and sometimes you think that you're a little bit unlucky in some situation, but I also think that you deserve the luck. And I think they worked harder than us. They wanted this a little bit more in the first half, and that's why also they came out with 1-0 in halftime. If of course it's tough for us with a penalty against us. We great chances enough to score the equalizer, and we did, and they took it away.
Blackburn head coach Kim Lasio-Kegrin speaking in the post-match press conference. Forward Evelyn Bedu, she is confident that the team has the quality to win against Mali and qualify for the quarters.
I'm not feeling so much disappointed because I believe in our quality, and I know we're going to deliver in the next game. So not too much disappointed. And we all know it's football. It's sometimes good, it's sometimes bad, and we're going to learn our lesson and take something positive into the next game.
Evelyn Bedu spoke there. For a brief moment there, Queens thought they had restored parity, but that goal had to be ruled out for offside position. Well, later in the night, Mali also edged Cape Verde by 3-2 in the other Group D game to sit third with 3 points. Mali next face Ghana at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. On Saturday, Malawi secured their spot in the last 8 with a 3-1 win over Egypt, while Nigeria got their campaign back on track with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Zambia. Now, later today at 8 p.m., Kenya will face Algeria, while already qualified Morocco take on Senegal in the other Group A game. That's it for Inside WAFCON on the Joy Sports Center, which is brought to you in association with Bank of Africa and Goldfields Ghana Limited. Moving on, Parliament has set August 26 for the third edition of the Democracy Cup at the Baba Yara Stadium. The match will pitch inaugural winners Kotoko against defending champions Accra Hearts-Evoke. Here's the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin.
One of the flagship initiatives of this House aimed at promoting sportsmanship, strengthening democratic values, and fostering national unity is due to come on Friday, 28th August 2026 at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, Kumasi. There will definitely be curtain races. One will be between members of parliament and members of the executive. The main match is between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak. We are reminding all of you and all sports enthusiasts to attend this important event.
That was Alban Bagbin speaking there. Now, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says the World Football Governing Body has dropped its plans to sell a stake in the FIFA World Cup following strong opposition. The proposals would have raised up to $4.2 billion by selling a 20% stake in a new company to manage FIFA events, including the World Cup. UEFA was among the strongest critics, threatening to boycott FIFA events, including the World Cup, and accused the organization of putting football's soul up for sale. In some transfer news, Juventus have signed Randall Colomwani from Paris Saint-Germain in a deal that sees the France forward return to the Serie A side on a contract until 2031. Chelsea have also signed Argentina international Valentin Bacco from Ligue 1 side Strasbourg on a 7-year contract. In some preseason friendlies, Man United, they came from behind to beat Atletico Madrid by 2-1. Brian Mbeumo scored both goals in that game to win the Snapdragon Cup for Manchester United. Enzo Maresca, he is the new Manchester City manager, and his first game in charge of the team ended in a 2-1 defeat to Inter Milan. Tottenham Hotspur also beat Chelsea by 2-1, with Richarlison scoring a late winner for them, while Liverpool ended their US tour with a 4-2 defeat to Leeds United, ending the Joy Sports Centre.
Achu, thank you for bringing us the Joy Sports Center. But we have the Invitational coming up, right?
Yes, sir. The Joy Sports Invitational. It's happening on August 29.
So if you've
That's
not
4 Saturdays from today. I think the deadline. Okay, I don't want to jump the gun, but there is a deadline for the registration.
Okay.
So you make sure that you contact Slevin or simply log on to my job online. You find the details there, and then you are able to register your company. If you want to sponsor as well, I think the process is still the same.
Okay. Thank you so much, Achu, for bringing us the Joy Sports Center. It's 12 minutes to 8. It's time for Food for Thought. Brought to you by Riverman Productions. Riverman Productions B. The difference. Let's go online and talk to Uncle Ibo White this morning. Uncle, good morning. Okay. I'm having some technical challenges here. Let me get Uncle back on the line.
Can you hear me?
Uncle, I can hear you. I want to repeat this so that we do it right. Food for Thought is brought to you by Riverman Productions. B. The difference. Good morning, Ofa. It's saying. I can hear you now, so I'm happy.
you're going to love the presentation for today.
I'm ready. Let me open my notepad and take notes.
I think I'm going to take you back to your boyhood days. So see if you can recognize this presentation.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you are a regular listener of Food for Thought, you would know that I was raised at South Sontreso in Kumasi. South, as everyone referred to it, was not one of the traditional or historic suburbs in Kumasi. South was nobody's hometown, since it was built from scratch by Kwame Nkrumah as an affordable housing estate for low to middle income families. The wonderful thing about South was that we had every kind of Ghanaian living peacefully side by side. My family was Fanti. Our neighbor was Asante. In my neighborhood, we had a Kwawu family, a Ga family, a Frafra family, an Eve family, and a Buzanga family. South was a microcosm of Ghana. A feature of South, for us the children, was that we were welcomed into almost every home. Most of our parents knew our friends by name and treated them as their own children. Now, one of the things that has stuck in my mind is that there were two kinds of households when it came to how dinner was served. There were the households in which every child had his own bowl, in which he was served whether he was home or not. And each child's bowl was color-coded to avoid confusion and fights. In the second kind of household, there were no separate bowls for the children. The children who made up of siblings and cousins. Instead, when supper was ready, the food, almost always fufu, supper was almost always fufu, was served into a big bowl or asanka or apotoyoa. And all the boys of the house, all the boys of the house, from the oldest to the youngest, were supposed to eat from that bowl. In those households, nothing was left in the soup pot. In other words, the fufu in the bowl was usually all the fufu there would be that evening, apart from the share of father and mother, whose share was separate. The girls usually ate with mother. So the whole fufu for the boys went into the big bowl, and then the soup, after the share of father and mother had been dished out, was emptied on the fufu with all the meat in the big bowl. And then the boys, sometimes as many as 8, squatted around the bowl, and it was each one for himself. Eating in those households was a survival of the fastest. If you lived in those households, no matter your age, you learned to eat as fast as you could, and you learned to swallow large morsels of the fufu at a time. Hot
fufu.
Yes. The challenge was usually the meat or the protein on the food. It was never enough for everyone. And so the boys came up with all kinds of tricks to cheat everyone out of their share so they could have a bigger share than anyone else. Fights broke up at most meals because someone was trying to cheat someone else of their fair share. The younger boys learned to be aggressive and fight for their share because if you did not fight for your share, you went hungry. You knew at the beginning of the meal that there was nothing to fall back on apart from what was in the bowl before you. Some small boys who were often cheated by their bigger and older siblings and cousins would every now and then grab a large piece of the meat and take to their heels. That seldom ended well because the big boys were likely to outrun the small boy, retrieve the meat, and beat him up for his troubles as well. In some homes, a system was devised to share the protein or the meat. At the beginning of the meal, the meat or fish or whatever was taken off the fufu onto a flat lid of a pot and given to one person, usually the youngest, to share into equal parts. The rule under this system was that the one who did the sharing was mandated to pick last after everyone. And the pieces were picked from the oldest to the youngest. This system was often sabotaged by the older boys when they wanted bigger shares than their younger siblings. And then a fight for survival would always break out. In those homes where the children ate together, someone always felt cheated. Someone rose from the meal having eaten more than his fair share, and another was left at the empty bowl hungry. Now, I must hasten to add that it was not only as self-interest that this system of feeding the children of the house was practiced. I found that this was the practice in many homes outside South and in many rural areas. The carbohydrate component of supper was always enough for everyone. The problem was with the protein, be it meat, fish, or snail, or chicken. Chicken always brought fights, always, without fail. That was seldom enough. The protein was seldom enough for everyone to have a share they would like. And so you always had to devise the means to outwit your own siblings and cousins, or to stop them from outwitting you. Even as a boy, I noticed that the children from the homes where supper was served into a single bowl for everyone were always very aggressive and assertive. They refused to be cheated, but they would also outwit you at the least chance and cheat you. For the children from those homes, everything was about survival. They always wanted to have the bigger share of anything, and they did not care what happened to the rest. Somewhere deep in their psyche, a philosophy about life was planted. It said there was never enough. Everything was limited, and it was your duty to get not just your fair share, but more if you could manage it. Children from those households often grew to think of only their personal interests and learned not to worry about the interests of others. You know, childhood habits die hard. And if you grew with the mentality that your survival depended on you outwitting and snatching a bigger share of the meat, you take that approach to everything, even to national affairs. So, here's a question. Could that be the reason why, when the Ghanaian finds himself in public office, the interest of the whole is never his primary concern? His concern is how to get a bigger share of the national cake than everyone else. Could it be that the greed and abuse of power by some of our public officers was born from the days when they had to fight for more than their fair share at every supper around the Asanka, whilst competing with their siblings and cousins? Kojo, I'm just asking. And that's my presentation.
Those are big, huge questions we must reflect on. But if I'm to share my experience from Ijazungo, but we also used to come to North and South to eat. Piwizel, Lazio, Tafrija, those gentlemen, we used to do music, so we used to come to eat. At home, whenever my mom served food, I was the last born, and I had two elder brothers. She would hold their hands and give me a 5-minute hair start to eat. That taught me equity, because my hand was small, and I didn't have air conditioners in my mouth to blow the heat. So that taught me equity. And the fact that they always gave me the chance to share the meat before they pick also taught me fairness. And so in attempting to ask your question, there were lessons in the way we lived back then. But I think that usually when we grow, we throw away those lessons and just do what will not project Ghana and make us work.
Except that in your home, your mother was very different. And this approach was very different. That the youngest was given a head start of 5 minutes. In most homes, what happened was that everybody, so as soon as the food is there, everybody go. Then
me my other brother for no ochemus for no tamba ko no menia or me or first second one asa. So Kojo always had the hair start for fufu and rare jollof. Even ampesi, they would give me a hair start because I had smaller teeth, so I had to take my time to chew, and that taught me equity and fairness. Yeah.
That was very unusual. That was very unusual.
Yeah, that's it for this lesson. I'm sure a lot of people listening are reflecting on their childhoods and trying to find the lessons and how we can do better, especially in sharing the national cake and redistributing benevolence for humanity. How to? Yes. Thank you so much, Uncle Ibu. And that was Food for Thought, brought to you by Riverman Productions. It's time for Business Minute, which is brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you. Anointed Engineering Services, The Generator Experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, and SkySat Technologies, performance that delivers every time. Pegasus Publishing as well, Shaping Minds, Winning Futures.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you. Anointed Engineering Services, The Generator Experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, SkySat Technologies, performance that delivers every time, and Pegasus Publishing, Shaping Minds, Winning Futures. Fuel prices are expected to rise further this morning as more oil marketing companies adjust their pump prices. A partner at PwC Ghana, Bekujan Kwanzaa, has warned that Parliament's approval of new tax bills could increase the tax burden on businesses and individuals as government seeks to boost domestic revenue. In financial markets, government's treasury bill auction was oversubscribed by 79%, reflecting strong investor demand for short-term securities, according to the Bank of Ghana. Elsewhere, Japan and the United States have confirmed they jointly intervened in the currency market last week to support the yen after it fell to a 40-year low against the US dollar. And that's the Joy Business Minute.
That was the Joy Business Minute, and let me tell you about Anointed Electricals. Anointed Engineering Services Limited is into sales of ultra-silent, fuel-efficient diesel generating sets. The sizes range from 5 kVA to 3,000 kVA at very, very competitive prices. So talk to Anointed today on 024-348-0334 and 024-642-3534. Their head office is at number 77 Anointed House on the main Odoko Malam Highway near the Odoko traffic light. They also have 21 branches nationwide. If you need 24-hour emergency services, Anointed is there for you. If you need spare parts, they are there for you. If you need reliable rental services, they are there for you. If you need professional advice, they've got you. And they have tower lights for sale and for rent as well. So go to Anointed today. Anointed, the generator experts.
Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
This is Beyonce Adjoa Giselle Knowles Carter with a song Love on Top, the instrumental version. Now, you need to shine your eye when someone calls claiming to be from CBG. Fraudsters can sound professional, confident, and convincing. They may ask you to confirm your account details to help resolve a supposed problem or secure your account. Remember, CBG will never ask for your PIN, your password or OTP over the phone, email, or elsewhere. These are your secret and personal credentials. If a caller asks for this information, do not share it. End the call immediately and contact CBG at talktous@cbg.com, or you can call them on 0302-216-000. Shine your eye, spot the fraud, stop the fraud. This is a message from CBG, and this advert is brought to you in collaboration with the Ghana Association of Banks. This morning we are talking about the BECE result. We'll be talking to WAEC on the show. We want to understand how we can check the results the issues with the exam or practices, what is being done to resolve those issues. They'll give us details as to the number of students who wrote the exam, those who passed, those who didn't pass. And if you have any questions for WAEC as a parent, if you've had any challenge since the results were released, send me that question. I'll put it to WAEC for you. 055-1111-997, 055-1111-997. We're also streaming on Facebook, X, YouTube. The hashtag is JoySMS. And we'll talk about the fuel prices as well. I've already told you how much extra I have spent this year on fuel. It's money I could have invested in other things, for school fees, healthcare, for irrigation, for even a vacation. But since January, fuel prices have kept increasing. It was stable from January all the way to about March. And since then, we've seen a consistent trend of an increase. What are you doing to survive these times? And what is the government's response to these fuel price increases? What reliefs can the government give the people, the good people of Ghana? It's a question we are asking this morning. And we'll go through the bills again. Some of you are asking about the Cocoa Board bill and the implications. Kojo is still with me in the studio. Kojo Yankson is here. But our friends in WA, there's a story in WA I saw that worries me a bit that I want to promise you that we'll follow up on. Now, the WA Municipal Hospital has served the Upper West region for more than a century. 108 years after it was established, the facility is struggling with severe challenges, including a shortage of doctors. Yes, a shortage of doctors in WA, Upper West region, WA. The facility is saddled with a debt of more than 5 million Ghana cedis, and they don't have critical medical equipment. Our correspondent Rafiq Salam went to WA and sent in a report. And after I listened to the report, I'm very worried. And so people listening to us in WA, we will look into your hospital matters and make it one of the issues of the Super Morning Show. And then there's Nalerigu. You know, earlier this year, we spoke to our Northern Regional correspondent who said they don't have water in the Northern region, in Tamale, and they were struggling to get water. Now, the rainy season is here, so a lot of people are harvesting rainwater. But if you move from Tamale to Nalerigu, there is a growing concern over the deteriorating condition of the Nalerigu Dam, which is, is said to be at the risk of collapse following the suspension of rehabilitation works. The Northeast Regional Minister is urging the immediate release of funds to complete the project. And he's warning that if we don't complete the project, there'll be a major disaster. Now, this dam also serves as a source of water for consumption, for agriculture, for livestock, and it's an important state asset which we've left to rot. So people in Northeast, in Nalerigu, we've not forgotten about you. We'll follow up on this story as well here on the Super Morning Show. So we have a lot of stories for the morning. BECE, we are talking to WAEC. Fuel prices, we are handling that as well. A lot of bills have been passed in Parliament. Send in your questions. We'll have Kweku and other people help us answer your questions here on the show. And big stories are brought to you by Telecel, Connecting Energies, Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa, and Awake Natural Mineral Water, one for life. Now, this month, your life could change forever. Telecel is making millionaires every single month in the Telecel Mahete promo. You stand a chance to win 1 million Ghana cedis every month, 20,000 cedis every week, and 100 Ghana cedis every day. All you need is to reload 10 cedis or more airtime or data, or top up your Telecel cash wallet or your fixed broadband, and you could win big in the Telecel Mahete promo. The more you reload, the more your chances of winning. Don't just recharge to become a millionaire. Visit the Telecel Play app or dial *500# to opt in for free. Telecel Mahete promo. You could be the next millionaire. Telecel is connecting energies.
Every day your body needs clean, refreshing water. Wake water is carefully produced to keep you refreshed and hydrated. Purified, refreshing, and purpose-driven. Through our One Life campaign, we support people living with various cardiovascular diseases, and every bottle you drink, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center, Kolebu. Drink water, drink Awake, proudly produced by Casa Preco PLC. Awake Purified Drinking Water, one for life. drink water, drink awake, available nationwide. This advert is FDA approved.
And some of your messages on the show. This one from Papa says, listening to Uncle Ibo, I now understand, but do not excuse our thieving politicians. Everything makes sense now. And that is Papa's message here on the show. This message says, Kojo, my last daughter, Amasika Eduse, turns 5 today. We love her and wish her a blissful birthday from Daddy, Mommy, and all her siblings, Nana Akosia, Mami Edubafo, and Ira Adjoa Tima. Happy birthday to Mrs. Pisakoli, Senior House Mistress at Eliso House of St. Mary's Girls School, Kolebu, from Brightina and all the girls. We love you, Mrs. Akoli. And this one says, good morning, Joy FM. My name is Hubert Divine Seshi. I'm not too sure of my daughter's BECE results. Is there a way it can be cross-checked, and also her scripts and how much I have to pay? And if it comes to remarking, how many days will it take? This is Divine. So Divine is unhappy with her daughter's BECE results. He wants to know how they can cross-check what they've seen online at WAEC, number one, and what they have to do to get the script remarked, and how much he has to pay if the script have to be remarked, and how many days it will take for the remarking to be done. That is Divine. Now, good morning, Kojo. God bless you and your team for your good works. Please, my son's BECE results are in, but his surname on the result slip is incomplete. Please, what should I do, even though the index number, school, and picture is valid? This is Kwame in Tema.
It's a challenge that happens usually with when the registration is about happening. The teachers may mix a few things. But happy birthday to Joe Jackson. Michael Jackson, Joe Jackson.
Oh, today is
the chief
Joe
executive
Jackson's
officer of
birthday.
Dalex Finance Ghana. Hey, Joe Jackson, big man. Happy birthday to him. But also, let me say that there's a guy called Banana.
Kwedu.
Banana. We are supposed to do this one. He knows himself. He should send the location right now before I send the lawyers after him. He send the lawyers.
Yes.
After.
So, good morning to you, Banana. Social media messages on the Spam Morning Show brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief, and Cowbell Coffee with you every moment. Now, EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank, and they know how money moves. They know money doesn't move only on payday. It moves every day, connecting Ghanaians with their families, communities, and businesses. Is that airtime you sent to a sister, the transport money for dad, support for a cousin's education, contribution towards that family funeral, and a helping hand when it matters most? And in Ghana, money is more than a transaction. That's why there's EcoBank, a bank built for the way Ghanaians and Africans move money. With one seamless banking experience across 34 African countries, EcoBank digital platforms connect people, businesses, and opportunities in Ghana and across the continent. So you can pay your bills, transfer money, access ATM services, manage your finances anytime, anywhere with the EcoBank mobile app, the USSD, which is *770#, and EcoBank Online and EcoBank's ATMs nationwide. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank.
These days, some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping surfaces. These mattresses may be cheap, but they can be very harmful to your health. They don't meet Ghana's safety standards and will end up costing you more. Buying inferior and cheap mattresses may seem like a good way to save money, but do not fall for the trap. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work well and think well, and are ultimately putting your health at risk. It can cause you a lifetime of discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. That's why we must all raise awareness to protect families across the country. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. Make the smart choice. Talk to them on 0302-231-155 in Accra and 03220-29365 in Kumasi for all your enquiries, or walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. You can also visit them at www.latestfoamghana.com and all their social media platforms. Do not settle for less. Get Latest Foam, or else you do yourself. Latest Foam, your partner
for life. 055-1111-997. You have some of your questions for WAEC, some of your comments on the fuel prices and other issues. I'm going for a quick break. When I return, we have conversations on the BECE, on fuel, Narugo, on the bills, your messages. All coming up on the Super Morning Show.
And what? A month in prison, and she's out.
Yes, I had the opportunity to read the entire judgment, and I also read the initial judgment by the High Court. And together with the background, I will say that there are instances that I agree with the Court of Appeal judgment. There are a number of loose ends. Maybe we'll come to that maybe should serve as lessons for investigators, prosecutors, and even investigative journalists like myself. But there have also been instances that I felt that the judgment was reading as if a defense of the accused or the appellant. And I'm a lay person, but that is what I felt in a few of the instances that especially with the procurement issues, there could have been a way to hold on to that verdict.
Okay. When vehicles are imported or when goods are imported in this country by a government and the vehicles are tainted by fraud or illegality, that doesn't bind the succeeding government. And we've seen many of them in where governments have repudiated liability. So it's not correct. It's not true. It's not true, Manasseh. It's not true.
So
Number two,
what should have been done in that circumstance?
Repudiate liability. Repudiate it. And why the liability is repudiated is simply because, in your view, it's tainted by fraud. Repudiate it. They didn't.
So that they should have insisted that Akoto should come take their cars away.
Because we can't be partners. We can't be a party to a fraudulent activity. And the government will be within that, and that is a defense if Mark Ghana took them to court.
The state which got them to ship the vehicle scene, everything.
It doesn't matter that the state got
because you accuse them of overpricing the vehicles. You don't take control. That's the only issue of crime, right?
It's not only
overpricing.
Overpricing. Yeah. It's an issue of fraudulent transaction. Okay, and that overpricing was fraudulent because that was not what was being offered on the free market. That's the core of that charge is that.
Well, I feel the same way I felt when I first heard of the appeal and the outcome. There have been times in my life when I have asked myself whether it is even worth it. And this has been one of those instances that everybody knows that wrong has been done. But as things stand, nobody is going to account for the wrongdoing. And it hurts when you spend your time, you risk your life, and do all of these things. And this is just one of the many instances that I have done work with evidence, and it ended up nowhere.
And so, Ghanaians, you remember the ambulances matter? A total of amount of over 2.3 billion, was it?
Million euros.
Million euros was
because
involved.
That was also part of this documentary. So this was just part one.
Yeah.
The part two, I did the ambulances, spoke to Richard Japa and everybody, and there was also evidence that wrong was done. Those ambulances were also hidden at the Air Force base for years, and I don't know what eventually happened to them. I also realized that when it came to the 500,000, there was so much emphasis that was placed on the document that was allegedly written, a letter written by Sedina Tamakloe acknowledging receipt from Obatampa. And Mr. Inus Afuseni mentioned that this judgment provides so many lessons. I very much agree, and I think I said that at the beginning, but we should also be very cautious. When it comes to the case of corruption, people don't want to leave traces. The reason someone would want cash and not check is so that when they trace, they are not going to find it. So if payments have been made, if I were the prosecutor, I would pay more attention also to the people who paid the money. They were also in court to testify. How did the judge see their testimony? Was it credible enough? Interestingly, when reading the original judgment of the High Court, I realized that they also placed a lot of emphasis and premium on that letter. And the judge at the Court of Appeal was saying that, well, all the Maslock officials failed to authenticate that document. But I found it reasonable that they said, well, they didn't know about the existence of that document until the investigation started and they were called to Yoko. And if anybody wanted to obscure their dealings or hide anything, I don't think they would put such document in the files of Maslock for others to come and see. So on that basis, and there was also another payment of some 50,000 by the driver and others. So the point I'm trying to make here is, in as much as we are very concerned about the amount of evidence, I think we should also make room for corruption investigations and prosecutions. When it comes to bribery, nobody gives receipt. So if you want to, going forward, emphasize the availability of letters, granted that this person, knowing that this letter could be traced to her, could sign the signature, have him just put it there so that if you even do forensic audit of that signature, it wouldn't match with hers.
I am very concerned about the ways in which we go from investigation to formulating a charge and prosecuting. Because in the UK, which I'm familiar with, when the investigative authorities have prepared this, there's a responsibility on the prosecutorial authorities to sit down and sift through all of them and then make a decision whether or not they have reached a charging position before they go ahead and formulate a charge.
In fact, lawyers go along with them to crime scenes, to do all these things, to make sure that they are dotting all the T's and crossing.
Let's just take perhaps the most prominent
I's and
this about Tampa question. Okay, so there's an allegation that an investment was made, and the person says we were asked to return money because there was disagreement about the interest rate. You first follow, okay, how was the investment made? On what basis was it paid out? Was there a contract signed? Did it define the terms of the interest? We are none the wiser as to any of that arrangement. The person says that we were asked to return money and subsequently got a letter written for it. The person says that we received that letter from the secretary, because we went to the Master Secretariat and the secretary gave us that. That was not also brought, the person who supposedly handed over that letter was not called into evidence. None of that processes were followed through. When the money was withdrawn and paid in cash, we don't have any information as to whether or not there are corresponding bank accounts that shows withdrawal of the same amount. None of that happens in this particular case. The person says that Sedina continued to call us to be able to receive the money. There's nothing in evidence that shows consistent communication between Sedina and the individual concerned. Now, I am not saying that the money was not paid to Sedina. I am not in a position to say so. I'm saying that when I just look at how the investigative record was built towards establishing guilt, it just took the fact that this person says, this is a letter we have, and that it shows that the money was paid, and left it as such. I do not think that's sufficient, particularly in a situation where the person does not admit that this in fact happened. Then there's more required for you to do. Then there's a question of this disbursement to beneficiaries that the Court of Appeal found was insufficient, that in fact there had been an audit by Bafuewa and Associates in connection with this. And since Bafuewa was not called to speak to this, they claim that there's a claim that money was paid to beneficiaries where there was no contact, to be able to contact them, to be able to verify. I just don't understand the sort of the laxity around which you put a case together and then we present it to the court in connection with this. Now, it is not all lost, because in many respects, it means that you can go back to Obatampa in connection with this. One, either to prosecute the individuals concerned, or that you can take civil claims out against Sedina and the individuals concerned, and you can bring the case as a civil case to be able to recover money from the state. Isn't that the full extension of what oral is supposed to do? Recover all loot. Meaning that even if you have failed on the criminal charge, we can then go to the civil claim and say that, okay, there's a low evidentiary burden. We can be able to put a lot more things together and be able to go like this again. So my concern really reading this, and you know what's interesting? I have sat in a meeting concerning investigative work that was being done in connection with prosecution
Okay? And I walked away and said, this country is in big trouble. Because the investigator says that, so they interviewed, said that this person was out of the country on the set date. And the lawyer then asked, how do you know the person was out of the country? They said, oh, in his statement, he said he was out of the country. You have access to the airports. You have done nothing beyond taking caution statements. And the vast majority of our prosecutions end only at statements taken. And that's it. That's how cases are established. So I have said consistently about how we investigate and prosecute white-collar crime in this country so many times that there's a serious capacity defect in the way in which we construct these issues. And that's something we have to take seriously across board. We know we can do all the political wrangling, but it's a serious problem at heart here that we have to deal with. And I think that this decision lays a lot of that bare in terms of the kind of conversations we have.
Thank you.
In the sentence.
Yes. What's your reading of the judgment?
Well, I have a completely different view. I think that the judgment is seminal. It will change the way we conduct criminal cases in court. It will keep prosecutors on their toes. It will rein in over ambitious prosecutors who are political animals. And clearly, it would settle the question. I mean, in talking about the appeal indicated by the Attorney General to the Supreme Court, it will help, that appeal might help settle what amount of evidence is required to be in the particulars of the case that can meet the threshold of informing the accused person of the offense for which he is being tried. He or she is being tried. I've read the judgment in his court, in its entirety, and I will not fault Manasseh when he says that he's disappointed. In fact, when the first flyers came out, Sedina was acquitted and discharged. I was with a group of people. Everybody said, what is happening? What is happening? A correspondent or somebody working within multimedia called me, Echo, and said, he wanted me to comment. I said, I can't comment on that. I need to read and understand what went into court. He said, 5 o'clock, if I don't get it, I won't comment. Many people rush to comment, and they are taking their words back. Because you see, like he said, the appeal was filed on the 9th of May, 2024. 9th of May, 2024. That was when the appeal was filed. And it's in the judgment. Okay? Served on the Attorney General.
When?
I don't know when it was served.
Good, that's a good question.
I don't know.
But
what I know...
Until February of 2026.
No. No, how did they settle the records?
Until February of 2026. How did they settle the records? So if we are keeping to what is on the record,
yes,
as far as the proceedings are concerned,
yes,
the Attorney General told the Court of Appeal,
yes,
that they only became aware of it at this time.
No.
And then they asked to be given the opportunity.
By the judge, listen.
This is Beyonce with Love on Top. The only one I see. And it's coming to 8:30. This is still the Super Morning Show. And this morning, as promised, we'll be talking to officials of WAEC. And we have Mr. John Kapi, the head of public affairs of WAEC, on the show. And we want to know, we want to get more updates on the BECE results. And also put some of your questions to him here on the Super Morning Show. Good morning, Mr. Kapi. How are you? Mr. Kapi, good morning. How are you?
The entertainment industry previously has had...
Okay, I'm trying to get Mr. Kapi, but we have him join us on Zoom. Mr. Kapi, can you hear me? Okay, we'll bring him back here on the show. Mr. Kapi, you are muted, so if you can hear me, just unmute. All right. Your microphone is on mute. So
right, sure. Sorry about that.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Super Morning Show. I hope you are well this morning.
I'm very well, thank you.
So last week you released the BECE results. So far, the press statement that came with the result was that 2,722 results of candidates from 229 schools have been withheld until August 31. And you also gave us some statistics on the number of students and everything. We want to hear it from you. So how did this year's BECE go? How many students or candidates did you have? How many passed? How many had issues with their results?
Right, thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners. In total, we had 620,243 candidates. Out of this, there was a male candidature of 304,415. Then the females were 315,828. Now, at the end of the examination, we were compelled to cancel the results of 496 candidates. Subject results of 496 candidates. Then 105 had their entire results cancelled. 119 have had their subject results withheld, and then 48 of them have their entire results withheld. And like you mentioned, about 2,273 also have their results withheld for further scrutiny.
And these results that have been withheld for further scrutiny, when will you finish that exercise and release the results so that the candidates involved can use the results to progress to senior high school?
So we have had the opportunity to scrutinize some of the scripts. We are giving the students a hearing, which is a recommendation from the courts. At least if in the course of marking we detect these things, we should ask them, what happened. And then they would give us their version of the story. And if indeed it is something that we are convinced about, we could release the results. And if we are not, we'll go ahead and cancel. So work is currently underway. Now the 31st August date that we have put out there is the date on which we wouldn't have any issues to handle any longer.
Okay.
So it's possible that even in the course of this week or the next week, some of the results will be ready and then released to the candidates for them to be able to seek admission into senior high school if they qualify.
If the data available to me is anything to go by, in 2023, about 22,000 scripts were scrutinized for mass cheating. This year is just 2,722. What's changed? Is it that you are detecting better? Is it that you've put in place better structures to prevent leaks and deter people from cheating? Or this time you caught less, that's why the numbers are lower?
Well, I would say that, first of all, we decided to launch a crusade against examination malpractices. So we held our stakeholder engagements across the country. We also met with some traditional authorities and tried to impress upon them to encourage people within their jurisdiction to stay away from this act of cheating. The Ghana Education Service has been very helpful. They also deployed a lot of monitors across the country to ensure that cheating was reduced to the barest minimum, and as the years go by, we would be able to nip it in the bud completely. So I think that the crusade that we launched, together with the amount of monitoring that we did, was that which helped us to reduce drastically the number of people who may have wanted to engage in this very dangerous act.
Now, this year, 3,600 candidates were absent. Last year, it was about 2,500. So the number has increased by about 43%. Do you know why these candidates didn't show up? And do you intend to publish something like a district-level absenteeism list so we can know where children are falling out for us to put interventions in place?
Well, as we speak, I have not seen any report indicating the reasons for which these candidates were absent. Usually, it is only after the examination we're able to tell what would have happened, with these absentees. And so, for now, we are concentrating more on the results, and then the other issues would be published later. But then we've never had there any reason to want to publish the list of absentees and possibly asking for some kind of remedial measures. But then, usually for BECE, the government is, largely in charge, if you want. And so if they would want this kind of statistics put out there, we would certainly be able to gather that from the various centers, and then we can put it out there for some form of remedial measures to be taken if there are, reasons for which we think that we can, find solutions to.
I think it would be great to know that, because in this era of people around the world banding together to send development back to their hometowns. If I know, for example, that my home district of Nkranza North, there's a high level of absenteeism, I may organize some of my friends to go there to see how we can solve that problem for the district. But there are some parents who have questions. One parent wants to know, her ward's grades do not reflect the ward's performance. And he wants to know if he can get the script remarked. And if he can get it done, how does he apply for it to be remarked? How much will it cost? And how long will it take?
Okay, so first of all, anybody who is not satisfied with their results, they have the opportunity to seek or ask for remarking. Now, the process is simple. You go back to the school, and the school, through the district examinations officer, would apply to us asking for the scripts to be remarked. So once the request is brought, the office would get officers to look for the scripts. They will go through them and invite the chief examiner to come and take a look at each of the subjects. The cost I would not be able to mention immediately because it varies depending on what the fellow is asking for. So, but again, I don't have the figures readily in front of me, so I'll not be able to speak to that particular issue. But then anybody who thinks that they deserve better results, that opportunity is there. They can always come back and then ask for remarking.
But how long does the process,
the process shouldn't last beyond a couple of weeks, depending on how early the request is made.
So if I want my script remarked, I go to my school, the school goes to the district office, and the process begins. And I'd have to pay money for that.
Yeah, you have to, because what happens is that for the examinations, when we prepare the budget, there is we make provision for every aspect of the examination. So if, for example, somebody is asking for remarking, we are supposed to invite the chief examiner and then pay them extra, to do the marking for it. That is why would ask that the candidates pay for the remarking.
Has WAEC ever changed a grade after a review? And roughly what proportion of reviews result in an upgrade? Do you have some numbers for us on that?
Not immediately in terms of numbers, but yes, we've had to adjust the grades of some people who probably came and asked for remarking, but that's negligible, really. So we do not have or keep statistics of that. Most of the time they come and even if there's a change in the mark, it is still within the grade range, and so there's no effect whatsoever. But yes, there have been a few times that we've had to adjust grades. Sometimes, in fact, invariably, some of them have actually gone lower than expected. But then the candidates are given the opportunity to, or the parent, the guardian, whoever it is who comes with them, they will have the opportunity of taking a look at the script and convincing themselves that indeed that was the actual performance, and that's what the grades that the candidate deserved.
There are some parents who sent us messages saying that they didn't get the names, like the names of the awards were not complete on their results slips. Is there a way they can get the correct names on the slips?
Yes, so in fact, I think that it should be done as early as possible before certificates are printed. So, for example, if the candidate doesn't have the correct name, they go back to their school. The school will write the name that they have seen. For example, those who have checked their results online and have noticed that their names are not complete would write the wrong name and then the correct name. And again, the same process through the district examinations officer. It comes to us, and then the corrections will be effected.
But I was wondering, since you've started digitizing results delivery, can't this process also be digitized? For example, when I check my results and I think it doesn't reflect my performance, can't I initiate the process of getting a remark on your platform? If the name on the result slip is not my name, can't I initiate that process also on the platform? Must I have to go back to my school, then goes to the district? Can we not use digital platforms to enable convenience for parents and candidates?
You know, these things can be done, but the issue is sometimes in the course of typing, people make mistakes. And so we want them to come, you know, like I can go online right now. Even sometimes getting to a certain website, you type a wrong website address and all of that. In a hurry, things could happen. But sometimes we just want to have the hard copy as evidence, you know. These things are technical. They are very, very sensitive issues. And sometimes you have people who have gone even way after graduation. They come back and say, I'm traveling here and this name is not correct. But at the time that we ask them to review or take a second look at their names, they didn't do. You know, so we want them to do it and then bring it to us in hard copy so that we can keep that as evidence, you know, when anybody comes again and says, I requested this, it was not done for me. Okay. Again, we have a lot of people who would come to you online and post as somebody, you know. We want to have this evidence properly done so that we are able to attend to the people who actually need the service.
Okay, now my final question, how do candidates and parents check their results?
Well, there are two ways by which they can check the results. First of all, we send the results to the district offices. So the district within which the examination was written would receive the hard copy of the results from us. Another form by which they can do it is to go online to our website where they can access the results. Now, to access the results online, you need to get a checker card, which costs 14 cedis if you come to our office. And the retailers, I'm told, are selling it at 15 cedis. So once you get that card, you'll be able to access the results.
Mr. Kapi, when I wrote BECE, I remember we went for our results in school. We didn't have to go through the districts. Why have you limited it to the districts now?
Once the results go to the district in turn will send it to the schools. It's a process that we go through just to be sure that the distribution process is very well done. So, for example, if we send it to District A, the district has all the schools and their addresses in their system. So they, in turn, would send the individual results to the various schools for the candidates to go and access them.
So at the moment, if I cannot check online, if I go to my school today, my results will be there. Is that the case?
Not that I know of immediately, because the IT department does that immediately. We publish, especially when the results file is sent to the school placement center. The same is done for the districts. I have not gone to cross-check anyway, so I wouldn't be truthful if I tell that by now to be in the school. No, I cannot tell unless I check for my people. Yeah.
What would you tell people who say that the fact that WAEC makes candidates pay to see their results online is unfair? Their argument is that if I come to you, say if I go to the hospital, for example, to run a test, I have paid for the test. The lab is enjoined to give me my test results, and the lab is also enjoined to put that test results up for the doctor to be able to see. So if I've paid to write exams, you should be able to put my results online for me to check without having to pay anything. And I'm asking this question because I just asked about the results being in the schools, and you're saying you are not sure if they are in the schools. It means if the results are not in the schools or some of the schools and the parents really need to know the performance to take action, the fact that the online is the most convenient way and they have to pay is WAEC profiting from people's sweat of writing exams, and that WAEC should make it free for us to check for our results online like we get in other places. What do you say to that?
Well, it's a very simple exercise. First of all, once the results are ready, we would prepare them and send them to the district and to the schools, as I said. Now, it is just a way of making it more convenient rather than have people travel long distances. For example, I wrote my examination at Nkranza North. I'm with an uncle here in Accra, and it will be difficult for me to travel back there, especially if I don't have any proxy who goes there and is able to be identified by the school. Now, let me explain this. First of all, when we put out the examination fees, we would have sat down to consider what is needed for the examination, pre-examination activities in terms of moderating questions, printing questions, come to the conduct of the examination, and then the post-examination activities. All of these things have cost elements, but the results checker is not there because it's an option. It is optional. It is not compulsory that everybody should go online and check their results. Now, so if a candidate, for example, decides that, okay, I want the online option, that comes along with an extra cost. I mean, wherever you go, there's a basic cost. And for us, the basic cost is payment for the examination, the release of results, and then the printing of certificates. Any other service that is provided should be paid for. For example, if you want to go online, because we would also pay to host the results online. And of course, if we are doing that, then we expect that whoever wants to access this should, pay for it. For example, I have my phone. I want to go online. I need to have data on my phone, and I buy the data because I'm the one who's going to use it. Now, if it is that we are allowed to charge for this also as part of the registration process, then it becomes easy. Once we host it online, you wouldn't need to have, to buy the checker card before you go ahead and access your results.
Okay. Mr. Kapi, thank you for spending some time with us this morning to make things clearer for us. We wish you a good day.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Mr. John Kapi is the head of public affairs at WAEC. We hope we've been able to ask him all your questions and you have some clarity now. Parents who sent in questions. The questions I asked him were basically the questions you sent to us. We hope you have some clarity now. Kojo is here and Kweku is here. A minute each if you have any further questions or comments.
I think that these processes are still unnecessarily cumbersome. There are simple ways of using technology to make everybody's life easier. And as a country, we take too long to get to the point where we consider investing in people's convenience. We are told that you have to pay to see your results online.
Or you go to your school or district to get your results.
Does it cost WAEC extra to put it online?
Server services, developers.
So that's what we are paying for.
Web security.
But they have server services and developers anyway. They have a website, don't they? They inform the public anyway, don't they?
Yeah, but a website is different from a portal that holds results for 620,000 candidates.
Yes. So
the uptime you need servers, you need Cloudflare, you need this. You'll be paying for all these extra services. So and he says they don't add it to their bill, so they have to pay for it somehow.
They don't add it to
the examination registration cost, so they have to pay for it somehow.
It's ridiculous. For me, technology exists to make life easier. The more you use it, the cheaper it gets. And WAEC at this point should not be charging parents extra to show them their results online.
Kweku disagrees.
Now, the last thing I'll say is this. WAEC, West African Examination Council, they examine the whole of West Africa. Do they treat all countries the same? Do they have the same kind of deal with every government?
We can check.
Because I think we need to find out whether Ghana is getting the best deal out of this.
Yeah. We can check. This message from John says, I follow the process for name corrections for my son, but it wasn't rectified and the wrong name was printed on the results. You've not stated whether it's this year or last year.
Because this is very important. When you miss out,
when
you miss out on this, potentially your ward is going to go through the rest of his or education with that name, and at some point they would have to swear an affidavit to get the name change and all of that. So at JHS level, it should be very easy to fix it. You can reach out to WAEC. They should be able to fix this quickly for your ward. Yeah.
You said you agreed that WAEC should check.
Yeah. Because of obviously there's the processes you've explained.
Yes.
And WAEC has not budgeted for that. Usually, I'm sure either a third party or WAEC is doing this with its own funds, so they would have to recoup it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the result is available in your schools. I see the point that it is not as instant, so that if the results is released the next working day, can you go to your basic school and get the hard copy of your results? Perhaps not. And so WAEC would have to work on that. When the results is released, you go to school the next working day, you have it, so that people do not have to rely on these online tools.
What Kojo
or perhaps we should just add it.
What Kojo didn't mention, when he was going through all the processes they have to carry out in order to give you the results online, he didn't tell you the actual cost. And whether charging 600 and something thousand people a fee each.
Of say 10 cities or 20 cities.
Whether that is enough or a little or more than that. Than how much WAEC is spending to provide the results.
I can put together a platform like that and give you a sense of the cost maybe tomorrow. Okay. Now I can't do that for you, but maybe tomorrow. You mentioned whether WAEC gives the same deal to all the countries it operates in. In West Africa, WAEC is working with the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. So basically the 5 English-speaking countries of West Africa: Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Gambia. We'll find out. But I have a question for Kweku though. Kweku, you are in law school. When you write exams at the end of the semester, are your results given to you on paper or you check online?
So, I mean, throughout my university education, University of Ghana, wherever I've been to,
you checked online.
You check online, and then you see your results.
Did you pay extra for checking online?
No, because it's in my academic fees.
When you check your academic
because when I was graduating,
is there a result checker?
No, you see, they don't break down the fees. But when I was graduating and I was going to draw down my certificates, you paid separately for that.
Okay, that's your certificate.
But however, WAEC is not even charging you for your certificate. However, you're going to pay for the result. Because
are you sure they are not charging for the certificate?
Because you are paying for it in the examination fee.
Okay.
You see the point?
Okay. My point is, I hear you. I hear Kojo Yankson, but as an IT person, I think IT is supposed to make lives easier for us. So if I offer any service and have an online portal, I would use that online portal to give you convenience and extra value. And I will not, but in Ghana, it looks like a lot of things we charge for. Police recruitment, military recruitment, you go online, you pay this money, you pay that. You want to serve the country, but you have to buy an application form to be eligible to serve the country. And I think we need to think about these things and make these processes better. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. When we come back, we are talking about the fuel prices and related matters here on the Super Morning Show.
When I wake up in the morning,
I've read even the motion. No,
Okay.
Listen, please.
Wait. Let's not do that yet. Your preliminary comments will come to where you have issues.
I've read the motion where the Attorney General has filed a motion seeking to add to the record of proceedings Exhibit AM1 and AM2.
What dates? You may want to pay attention to what dates.
No, what I'm saying is that
was filed.
What I'm saying is that the Attorney General's motion to add those exhibits did not reside in his affidavit in opposition, that they only became, affidavit in support of the motion, that they only became aware of the records.
In fact, that's what it says.
No, I've read it. I've read it.
Do your preliminary.
No, I've read it.
We should go straight to them. No, okay. We should go straight to them and deal with them as such.
I'll go straight to them and deal with them.
But we are not going to the details yet. I want your general overview, preliminary. We'll come back to go to the details.
My general overview of the case, of the Court of Appeal case, the judgment of the Court of Appeal by Ankama, and I had the privilege of practicing before him when he was in the second court. But my general overview is that the judgment, like I said, is seminal. It appears to be dealing with the profound issue of the guilt of a person and what is required to be proved. It appears to be dealing with the issue of what the role of a judge
is in a criminal trial to be a dispassionate observer of the process and not complementing the shortfalls of the prosecution. And many others, which, I mean, when we are discussing this.
Right, Oliver.
And it also shows clearly that the Attorney General's Department, by the judgment of the Court of Appeal, did a sloppy job at the prosecution. The charges that they drafted were defective, and then
at least 34 of them.
34 of them were defective, and then the court even exhibited that when they struck out
defective for not providing sufficient particulars.
I mean, Article 19 of the Constitution is quite clear on that. So, and thirdly, it also showed that if a judge is not mindful by complementing the deficiencies of prosecution.
Yes, Oliver.
It's really becoming depressing for some of us in the anti-corruption fight when we hear humble, very dedicated, learned persons speaking this way. It's sad. It is true that the court has done its job per the evidence that is available for me. That is it. And I don't want to go back into the various examples Manasseh has given. But I also have an issue, or a few of them, that I wanted to add to what Manasseh and others have already spelled out when it comes to the issues of accountability. So when would our courts then begin to identify that people cannot just get away with some of these atrocious crimes? In fact, they are crimes. You cannot just say it any other way. How is it that somebody initiates a process, procures vehicles and buses, when the people who needed them indicated clearly that we want something else? They are procured, they come in, nobody uses them, they remain waste, and we go to court and come back with this decision.
When we had later filed the case, that even within our own firm, it turns out there's a professor in the US who had first reached out to us and had a consultation with us whether or not this is a matter we'd be able to pursue. And we had gone back and forth. And our sentiment was, it's going to be a very difficult argument to make. And so we didn't proceed further. So I got the call, from the senior citizens about going back at it again. And so it took a real sitting down over a long period of time to see how could an argument be crafted within the scope of the Constitution that the court will not treat as a frivolous argument to make.
On the very first day you were arguing, I'm sure you lost hope.
No, yes,
I felt that.
I felt the pushback, because by every indication we're trying to invite the court to a particular kind of reading of the Constitution, which on its face is not the most obvious. I mean, there's no point in anything we have drafted where we are saying that the indirect system that the delegate system has is undemocratic.
That's right.
We don't say that at all. In fact, what we're trying to invite the court is to say that democratic must have a particular meaning which must be gathered from a textured meaning that must be gathered from the document itself, and that we must listen. It's like putting your ear to the Constitution to try to listen to his voice to find out what does he want in this scenario, right? So it's a very crafty argument that has
the spirit rather than the letter.
Yes, and I remember, even after I'd done this, I had spoken to Professor Raymond Atuguba, who everybody knows is a mentor of mine, and we went back and forth at it, and he was also struggling that he feels like they might want something more, black and white to be able to get there. But it's not the first time the court has listened to the spirit of the document over 8 texts. The 31st December case, for instance, is an example. So I knew that there's something that could be brought to bear here. And the way in which we went about it is to get the court to agree that there's and hopefully agree, because I haven't seen what reasons compel them. For sure, one of the things that we discounted and I didn't want to get into is the question of the monetization. It's the reason why the plaintiffs approached me. But a lawyer knows that in framing their case, you kind of want to be sure that what it is you can be able to defend. And I know that going into the monetization questions raises the evidentiary bar for us to be able to surmount
and to get the court to agree to that. So
because there are already laws that prohibit the monetization.
There are laws that prohibit monetization. It's a difficult argument to make to say that the laws itself are not sufficient. If we feel like the state is not performing its function, compel the state to do more in that regard. All those questions.
The court ought to have declared the delegate system as unconstitutional, as undemocratic, and then now proceed to give consequential reliefs. But here, they didn't declare that it's unconstitutional. The reason, the part of the reasoning that Samson has read to us, which I was in the courtroom and I listened to the reasoning, did not say that the delegate system is unconstitutional. So the question I asked myself, how then did they depart to now say that we should now allow every member in good standing to take part in the process? That's my difficulty with the decision. I have no difficulty at all if every member of MPP who's a member in good standing is taking part of in electing officers of the party, whether both at the polling station, electoral area, constituency, region, or national. Do not forget that the party does not impose any officer on anybody. At the polling station level, all members of the party in good standing, they take part of the voting. Put together, then they will now vote for electoral area coordinators.
You are really litigating.
No, I'm not really litigating.
I want to see how we go forward.
Let me. You know, you allowed my brother to make his point. Let me make my point.
The Supreme Court is a policy court.
Well,
so they can.
It's a policy court, but now the court has now, more or less directed how an internal party organization should be organized.
Which they have the power to.
How an internal political party should be organized within its own context, internal decisions making.
Within Article 55(5). So now the question I posed when I left the courtroom, when the journalist asked me that how are you going to implement the decision? I asked the question, who's going to fund it? Who's going to fund it? And behind the scenes here, me and Oliver and my senior, we were discussing. And they said, well, if national security to some extent is funding, elections on the quiet, then it should make it open. If the state of Ghana is saying, look, don't worry, the decision of the people has come, we all welcome it. Now Ghana is going to fund the political parties' activities in internal elections. We will pay for internal primaries. We will pay. Presidential and parliament will pay. I have no difficulty with that. As it stands now, the party itself pays for the EC to come and supervise the elections. The party pays. EC brings budget to the party, and the party pays. You sit back and let them argue the matter.
Right.
On the first day the arguments were being made, I could see you were excited because the judges were almost in support of you.
Yeah, Alicia, we have to bring her to Ghana.
Yes.
For a concert.
Yes.
And that concert,
yes.
We'll pay 10,000 cedis
yes.
for ticket.
We'll pay.
20 minutes to kidneys.
Yes.
Alicia Keys, phenomenal woman with the song No One. We are going to talk about
classically
the fuel.
trained pianist.
Yes. It's on Kojo Nego School.
Hey.
Now who knew more? Or your Kojo Yankson classmate. And we are going to talk about the fuel prices in a bit, because for me, I drive within the city, I drive on the highways, and I drive on the farm. And fuel is the most important liquid aside water in my life. And beginning of the year, I drew up my budget for my personal use, my highway drives, and for my machinery on the farm. Around that time, I just pegged the fuel price at 15 cedis. Okay, 15 Ghana cedis for the rest of the year. We started around 11, 12. We're now at 19 for diesel and 15 cedis for petrol. We were told that we're going to handle the fuel prices such that we will not see these. We are going to manage everything. So why are we at 19 cedis for diesel, 15 cedis for petrol? And how can we cope? What reliefs can the government give us? We'll be talking to COPEC shortly here on the show. I'll be talking to Paul Ofori, the head of research for COPEC. He's on the line, but Paul, you'd hold on a bit for me, because if your lights have been going off, you need to get Translight Solar. Translight is here to help you With Translite, you enjoy consistent, reliable power every single day. No interruptions, no surprises. Their smart solar solutions are designed to keep your lights on, your appliances running, and your operations moving while helping you cut down electricity cost. And Translite is offering exclusive installation discounts starting at 34,000 Ghana cedis with flexible payment options. So call them on 0242 438 746 and 0245 604 0838, or you visit translitesolar.com. Translite Solar, reliable power, total peace of mind. And ABSA is giving you green financing. So if you are going green, you know, it's not just about saving the planet. This month we are talking about sustainability on the show. Going green helps you save money. And so you can install solar panels, cut down your power costs. You can get an electric vehicle and reduce what you spend getting around. Or you switch to energy efficient equipment and lower the cost of running your home or business. The best part is that ABSA Bank can help you finance all of it. The ABSA Green Finance Loan gives you what you need to make it happen. Walk into any ABSA branch, ask about the ABSA Green Finance Loan today, and say yes to a greener tomorrow. Terms and conditions apply. ABSA Bank reminds you to shine your eye to avoid being scammed. Your story matters.
What God has prepared for this moment cannot be put into words. Greater Works 2026, a heavenly invasion of God's glory and power. Speaking Pastor Matthew Ashimolo, Bishop Theodore Bismarck, Bishop Michael Kunku, Pastor Paul Adefarasin, and our conference host, Pastor Mensa Otabil. It's Monday, 3rd August to Friday, 7th August 2026. The venue is ICGC Christ Temple East. And then the morning session is Tuesdays to Friday time at 9 o'clock a.m. The evening sessions, Mondays to Friday at 5 p.m. each night. Special song ministrations by Joe Metal, One Small Six, Nathaniel Bassi, Donsin Oyekan, and ICGC Mass Choirs. Buses will be available at strategic locations across the city. For more details, visit gwcentral.org.
Okay, so we will talk about the fuel prices now. It's a very, very important conversation to have this morning. I know that this week, Obeto fuel, and you'll be spending more on fuel. How are you coping? How do we cope? And how did we get here? Let me go on the line now and talk to Paul Ofori. Paul is the head of research at COPEC. Paul, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kojo. I'm doing very well. Yourself?
I'm very, 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 very well, but not excited, not happy because of the fuel prices. We are now at 19 cedis per liter for diesel and 15 cedis per liter for petrol. How did we get here?
Well, once again, good morning to you and to the listeners. First off, OMCs have been very magnanimous to consumers, I must add. Had it not been they shielding some of their margins, believe you me, diesel should have been doing some 21 cedis per liter, and petrol perhaps 16 cedis and over. And so we need to thank the oil marketing companies for shelving their margins just so consumers can breathe, a little bit. Having said that, well, there are two main factors that, result in whether there is supposed to be an upward adjustment in petrol prices or a downward. You look at first the cedi dollar movement, and secondly benchmark prices on the international market. Now, just when the hostilities, resurfaced between the U.S. and Iran, petrol prices moved up sharply from some $920 per metric ton to over $1,100 per metric ton. That leap was quite significant. And then you also look at diesel, which was hovering around $890, $895, moving all the way to $1,200 and over per metric ton. Again, it was quite significant. So all in all, you realize that benchmark prices on the international market went up sharply, and that also, with the cedi dollar relationship in mind, resulted in what we are seeing. Just within the last window, the cedi lost almost about 2.5% depreciation to the USD. And when you relatively put the data together, the cedi dollar movement together with the benchmark prices, petrol was to see some 9.5%, in terms of increment. And then diesel was also to see almost about 11% increment, at the pumps. But like I said earlier, the oil marketing companies have been very magnanimous, in shedding some of their margins. Again, I was also hopeful that government was going to intervene before the new prices were announced. Unfortunately, that did not materialize. And so that is where we are, Kojo.
What interventions were you expecting from the government? Because I remember around March, when the fuel prices were going up, the government gave us a 2 Ghana cedi respite of sorts. Is it still in effect? Should we reintroduce that? Should we remove that 1 Ghana cedi levy on each liter that we buy?
Well, Kojo, I had a lot of expectations, bearing in mind when the transport union, the DPRTU and concerned drivers and whatnot met the transport ministry. I was hoping that with the unions, also suspending their intended upward adjustment in transport fares, perhaps we're also going to see some level of intervention from government. Again, you asked about whether government has suspended the intervention. It came in around April and then May. Yes, government has taken off those cushions, and so currently there are no safety nets for the consumer. As though we are just, in there. We are just hanging in there. I was hopeful that with the 1 cedi, before the 1 cedi came into being, we were told that even though there are no sunset clauses introduced in there, government was going to review it as and when necessary. And I don't think with petrol hovering around 15 cedis, 20 pesos, and diesel also around 19 cedis, almost 20 cedis per liter, I don't see any time that is as important as now for government to review. And so I was looking at it from that angle, where government was going to suspend the implementation and or the collection of the 1 cedi, just so consumers can breathe. Unfortunately, that did not materialize. And so we are where we are. I would have thought that with 1 year full collection of the levy, the ECG should have been able to gather enough to purchase the liquid fuel it needs to power the IPPs. Unfortunately, government still believe that, it needs the revenue to be able to subvent ECG and then the IPPs, Kojo.
If you look at what is happening on the global stage now, crude oil prices have come down a little. It went to over 100. It's come down a little. Even though the cedi is depreciating, it's not depreciating as much. But we are seeing the fuel prices going all the way up. Is there something wrong with the structure of our market?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. You see, because of the deregulation policy we are currently running in our country, when there is any change on the international market, directly or indirectly, you and I are affected. And so if you have diesel prices currently going down, it's good news. However, it does not take immediate effect. It takes a bit of time for BDCs to get the product less cheaper than they were importing previously. And so the market is such that by virtue of the deregulation policy, whenever prices on the international market goes up, definitely it has to also go up in here. And when it goes down, it has to go down.
But on this point, Paul, forgive me. On this point, what then is the use of the consumer paying the price stabilization and recovery levy? If prices go up all the time, and we also have to review every 2 weeks, why should I then pay a price stabilization levy when my prices don't stabilize for a very long period? For example, for 2025, we estimate that we pay close to 900 million Ghana cedis with a price stabilization levy. So why do you have that inbuilt into the fuel price, but prices are not stable?
Kojo, I would have loved that you had the Energy Ministry online so that this question can be posed to them as to why we are still paying for a stabilization levy and yet we are not getting the stability that we as consumers, are in much needed of. That notwithstanding, I was going to another area which was introduced by the NPA, that is the price floor. Now, the floor, the policy was introduced to curb oil marketing companies pricing at will. As part of the deregulation policy, we accepted that in every month, new prices will come in twice in a month. So we have a bi-weekly pricing, as far as our deregulation policy is concerned. Now, why do we have oil marketing companies changing their prices sometimes 3 times, 4 times in a particular window, when indeed you have a policy that is supposed to curb that?
In fact, as we speak, my OMC, which was charging 18.77 cedis per liter of diesel as at yesterday, this morning, they have announced new prices of 18.97 for a liter of diesel and 15.57 for a liter of petrol. And petrol has increased from 14.53. So why do we then pay price stabilization, this levy, that levy? But still, the market doesn't seem like it has a stabilizing factor.
Kojo, it's most unfortunate we are going through or experiencing what we are experiencing currently. Again, this is where the NPA has to come in and step its foot down in making sure the policy is being respected across the board. But you see, the other leg is that you cannot also blame the oil marketing companies. When they go to pick products from the BDCs at a particular price, and then they replenish, or they need to replenish whatever stock, they go in there and the prices at the BDCs have changed. When the prices at the BDCs have changed, they wouldn't have the option than to pass on the entire cost to you and I as consumers. So in effect, we are just going to bear the brunt of any other volatility that may occur either on the international market or from the side of the BDCs. Like I indicated earlier, but for the OMCs shedding their margins, we would have been paying more than we are currently paying. And so it's most unfortunate that you have oil marketing companies changing prices as well when we have a policy in place that is supposed to be curbing some of these, variances that we are having with the various oil marketing companies. So I want to believe that indeed the policy was to curb what we are witnessing. So we want to call on the NPA to making sure the price floor is respected across the board. Again, we also want to hear word from the Ministry of Energy with its solutions in terms of the current prices that we are witnessing. If the trend continues, believe you me, even in the next window, prices will still go up. And we might not be doing the 15s anymore. We will be doing the 16s and the 17s per liter. It will be as though we are back to the 2022 era, when we had the Ukraine-Russia war as the tag, acclaimed then.
Now, Paul, there are some of us who believe that a levy like the sanitation and pollution levy should not be on the fuel price. Some of us also believe that fuel marking should also be taken off because the industry has grown and logistics and everything, tracking and all these things enable us to see where this must go, where that must go. So all this fuel marking business must also be done away with. Based on the research and the consultations COPEC has done with industry, are these levies still supposed to be in the price build-up, or we can do away with them and still survive?
Kojo, I'm very happy you mentioned sanitation and pollution levy. Now, you walk across the length and breadth of the country and you see the level of fuel. Meanwhile, this sanitation and pollution levy, we've been collecting this for years without seeing any form of results, in our vicinity. Okay, so one is left wondering really what we are paying for. If we are not getting the results that we are looking out for, why are we still paying? Okay, it just doesn't end with the pollution and sanitation levy. Look, there's an element on the price build-up called the UPPF, right?
Yeah.
Now, with the UPPF, it is the second largest levy on the price build-up, almost about 95 pesos per liter. Now, when you pay that, a portion is paid to the transporters. Okay, about 45 pesos is paid to the transporters. Almost about 15% or 15 pesos or 20 pesos is used to cushion premix fuel. You ask yourself, where does the rest go? And so the earlier we concretely audit the various items on the price build-up, the better for all of us as a country. most of the items on the price build-up have outlived their usefulness.
Okay, Paul, hold it there. I have
levy.
Mr. Sedina Tamakloe, the CEO for the NPA, on the line. Let me bring him into the conversation. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Super Morning Show.
Please, is this
this is Kojo Akoto Boateng.
Okay, please, good morning. How are you?
I'm very well this morning. I hope you are well too.
By God's grace. Please, who is on the other line?
Paul Ofori, head of research for COPEC.
Okay, that's good. That's
yes.
Fine.
So I believe you are listening to the conversation.
Yeah,
Our biggest problem.
I joined in the later part of it, and I've seen the issues that have been raised relative to some of the margins, some of the levies on fuel and others, and the point that have been made. But you see, I usually say this, that a conversation on petroleum pricing, we need to have a more holistic view about the issues. Why do I say so? These levies and taxes that he's raised have been on petroleum products for a while now. In fact, until February 28th this year, okay, some of the OMCs were selling a liter of petroleum products at 10 cedis. Correct. They were selling at 10 cedis, even with the UPPF margin on it, even with sanitation and pollution levy on it, even with the 1 cedi levy on it. But that notwithstanding, petrol and diesel sold within the range of 10 Ghana cedis. I think that, and I have a great deal of respect for Paul. I mean, he's one of the known researchers within the petroleum downstream. I felt that a fairer assessment of the issues would have incorporated an existing dynamic in the industry, which dynamic has changed a few things. What is this dynamic that I'm talking about? With respect, before the U.S. war on Iran, and Paul, because he's a researcher, he'll bear me out. A liter, no, let me even put it this way. A metric ton of diesel, plus or minus, went for almost $794 per metric ton. Please, are you writing?
I'm writing. I'm listening.
$794 per metric ton. 794. Now, guess what? After the conflict, and today, as we speak, that same metric ton of diesel is now selling for $1,340 from $794 to $1,340. Because that's almost 100% jump in the price. That is where the challenge is.
It would have been better to give us the units in barrels, because a lot of our reporting on the global crude price has been in barrels. If you did that,
crude is measured in barrels. Hello.
Yes, I'm listening, Chief. Go ahead.
I'm saying that crude is measured in barrels, but refined products, you measure it in metric tons. So, a metric ton of petroleum product, particularly diesel, prior to the 28th February bombing of Iran, it was going for $794 for a metric ton. Today, as we speak, my brother Paul will bear me out that same quantity is now selling at 1,340. Now, this is where it becomes interesting. For pricing of petroleum products, you look at essentially three major items. The FOB price, that is how much you buy it on the international scene. Then you also look at the forex impact. Because you are buying it from outside, you can't buy it with your Ghana cedi. You have to buy it with foreign currency. So the exchange rate becomes an important indicator. The next had to do with the margins, the taxes and others. You would notice that the tax component, the margin component, has stayed constant. Thankfully, the current managers of the economy have significantly kept the exchange rate relatively stable for the purposes of planning. So that N2 appears to be under control. Now, where the challenge is the FOB. Now, you have a situation where the FOB prices now moves from 794 to 1,300. That, for me, with respect, I may be wrong, is where the challenge, the bigger challenge is. Now, I've heard the point being made about my brother Paul, about the fact of, there's a need for a holistic assessment of the tax regime and everything that needs to be done. Even with all those taxes and others, petroleum prices, look, as recent as June, when the ceasefire was announced, Kojo, do you know that prices fell from almost $1,200 per metric ton to $890? And that is why you saw barely about a month ago, prices of petroleum products fell back to the pre-war era.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that the U.S. resumed the bombing.
Now,
and that immediately moved it from almost $890 to now $1,340 per
Mr. Tamakloe, if I may, so you've given us the FOB prices of refined products, but let's have a general reflection. Crude oil prices have not increased by 100% over the period. I'm coming. I just want to build up to something. Perfect. Crude oil prices have not increased by 100%. The highest it went when the U.S. started bombing Iran and Iran started firing back was around $110 per barrel. As we speak, as of this morning, if I'm wrong, you correct me, it's around $87 per barrel. Now, over that period, it's not gone beyond the $110 per barrel. So crude oil, let's say, is increased by about 50%. Now, if finished products prices have increased by about 100%, this becomes a challenge for the country. How are we solving that particular problem?
Let me offer some a brief of, because you see, I listen to you. Let me just offer some kind of clarification with respect. So you see, like you rightly pointed out, price of crude had fallen again. It had fallen because President Trump just announced 2 days ago that his plan to further bomb Iran is stopped because the Gulf states have informed him that Iran, and you see, if you look at the Strait of Hormuz, there's one part closer to Iran, there's one part closer to Oman.
Yes, and now they are figuring out how to chart the waters for commodity to move.
So President Trump has just announced that Oman and Iran, at the point of concluding an agreement that will decide the future of the Strait of Hormuz, and that the Gulf regions have reached out to him. And for that matter, he has paused the bombing and had asked that agreement is concluded immediately for the hostilities. Immediately that announcement was made, crude price immediately fell. But you see, when it comes to Ghana, in determining the pricing floor and those dynamics, what we do is to take averages of the preceding 14 days. And so, if you quote today's crude prices, it will not reflect a decision that was taken 14 days prior. Because usually what happens is that the averages of the products are taken. The prices are taken, the FOB prices are taken, and then an average is strike. It is that average that is used in terms of the pricing determination. And so if you mention crude prices today, the dynamics will be different. Two,
Mr. Tamakloe.
For the people who bring or move refined products, they have what they call premium. I will tell you something. Do you know that prior to the war, the insurance premium, more like the premium paid on products, okay?
It's increased. The insurance premium has increased significantly now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Was $20. You know the premium now?
How much is it now?
$5.
So that has also gone up. So I understand. We understand all these challenges.
So I'm just if you permit me.
Because
with respect.
I wanted to make a proposal to you before we go on.
Please go ahead.
The fuel price issue is a big challenge, and we understand the challenges globally and everything. And like you said, we need to have an extensive conversation on this. And this week, I'm not happy. Most people are not happy. If I do my personal calculations, my fuel price cost has increased by 18,000 Ghana cedis from beginning of the year to date, based on my budget. This 18,000 cedis, I don't know how I'm coping, so it's a big deal. So can you make some time for me this week? You've broken down the challenges, but we've not heard the solution. Can you make some time for me this week on the show? Full 1 hour conversation, what you inherited, the challenges you've inherited, and how you are solving it. Because right now, what we want is the solution.
I know. As a friend used to tell, he said, show working.
Yes,
show working.
And you campaigned on fuel prices back then.
Don't worry.
Back then, too, there were global problems.
Listen, Kojo.
Yes, sir.
Kojo, if you want to be fair to the facts, from the time President Mahama assumed the leadership of this country, the same conditions, okay? Prices came as low as 10 Ghana cedis for a liter. Is that a fact?
And now it's at 19 Ghana cedis.
I'm coming, Kojo.
Yes, that's a fact. But now we are talking about the now.
Oh, Kojo, calm down, Kojo. Look, until 28th February, how much were you buying petroleum products? I accept the challenge. And for me, like I say, the responsibility of leadership is to find solution.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt at all that the responsibility President Mahama has given me under my able sector minister, in fact, between you and I,
Ediji, I'm running out of time for the morning, so please wrap up for me.
Yesterday, my minister sent me a message with a matching order from the president. And so this week, I have a meeting with my minister on the best way on the pricing. A minister told me that, Chief Executive, this is the matching order. I do not want to disclose the full details, but there's a matching order on me. And so I shall revert.
Okay. Thank you so much. On Wednesday, if you don't mind, on behalf of the 34 million Ghanaians, I'm inviting you to come.
I didn't give you Wednesday, okay?
But I am proposing. I'm proposing.
On behalf. When we go to court, the judges will ask, Leonard, what date is convenient so we can adjourn the matter to that date?
Leonard, what date is convenient so we can adjourn this conversation?
What about that?
So, Leonard, what date is convenient so we have this conversation in the studio? I'm giving you 1 hour and we'll buy you breakfast.
Let's do this date taking outside the studio.
Okay, I'll call you after the show so that we agree on this, because we've not had the solution yet, but I appreciate your time and the intervention. All right, Paul, thank you for joining. Eduji, thank you as well for joining. It's clear we don't have the solution yet, but we will reach out to Eduji after the show and see when he will come to the studio. We want to understand what levels you can move around, what we can do, refinery capacity, whatever, so that this problem doesn't continue occurring. Under the previous government, it was Ukraine, Russia. Under this government is Iran, US, Israel. When will external factors like this stop hitting us hard in our pockets? We would want to get to the bottom of that. I'll go for a quick break. When I return, there's a lot more on the Super Morning Show.
And Oliver felt lonely. And so we all walked out thinking, Charlie, only to show up and it's a complete. That's why sometimes it's bad to try to preempt.
Let me just say this quickly. When I first said 5-2, I said, okay, those are my 2.
And to be frank, before they started the decision, we were having a discussion. And I said, Charlie, I doubt it. You won't get it. And he was beginning to now re-innovate. Yeah. If they don't get it, how do you go around it? Coming back. Yes.
Yankson, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, my juniors are a reflection of what I want them to be. I mean, the firm is built around people, not just one person. Yeah. You know something? This decision of the Supreme Court, though, well, I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to have practical challenges, practical difficulties. The Supreme Court did not say. In fact, now we are discussing this within the context of a portion of the decision, not the whole decision. So I'm going very, very limited. The Supreme Court did not say that what the political parties are doing is unconstitutional or undemocratic. Article 55.5, upon which my brother Oliver premised his suit on, this is what it says. The internal organization of a political party shall conform to democratic principles, and its actions and purposes shall not contravene or be inconsistent with this constitution or any other law. This was the center of Oliver's case. Now we come to Oliver's relief. In fact, relief's VI. That's what he puts here.
And let's not be saying Oliver's. Oh, he was just the lawyer. He was just the lawyer. So let's say Professor Boateng and the others.
Okay, very well. I'm guided. Yeah. Now, it's a declaration that the electoral college system established under Articles 43 and 44 of the Constitution of the second defendant here, that is NDC, for the election of its presidential and parliamentary candidates, which confines or restricts voting to specified executives, office holders, and delegates. Somebody say it's coming down!
You are still live on the Super Morning Show. It's 9:37, and it's time for us to have a big conversation. Whenever you hear this song, you know it's about greater works. And I'm looking for a post by my friend Kofi Babone on Facebook. In fact, his name is Bernard, but His nickname is Kofi Babone. He wrote this about a year ago, and it was about greater works. And he was looking at the event from the perspective of an event organizer and a systems person.
Okay.
And he says there is no event as properly organized and coordinated as Greater Works. The quality of the music, the impact of the messaging, the infrastructure around it, the logistics around it. He wrote like 10 paragraphs talking about Greater Works. And then he ended that if as a people we looked at the excellence of how Greater Works is organized and put that excellence in everything we did, we would see a better Ghana. And I read it, I reflected upon it, and every word in that post on Facebook was actually the truth. So it's an honor to have you, Reverend Kojo Amoasari Jr. here. Reverend is the head pastor at ICGC Zoe Temple in Tema Community 5. And we are talking about Greater Works Conference 2026. Rev, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Blessed and highly favored.
You know you are leaving that cap here.
Yeah. You don't have a problem.
For those who are new to Greater Works or will be attending Greater Works for the first time, what's the vision behind the conference and why has it continued to grow over the years?
So I first of all want to comment on what your friend posted on Facebook, and I think he was accurate. The infrastructure, the planning, the detailing, the preparation, the quality, everything that is put into Greater Works is top-notch. And I'm happy that the world had acknowledged that. Greater Works Conference is the flagship conference of the International Central Gospel Church. Dr. Otabel, over the years, realized that when people start the year, they start with a lot of energy, zeal, passion, commitment, and devotion. But somewhere along mid-year, they start digassing. So he realized that it will be strategic. We institute something that will involve people and get them revived. So it started really with 30 days of fasting and prayer. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31 says that the people that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like the eagle. They shall run and not be weary. So
Joe performed that song.
I pray he does.
Upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Charlie,
I love your voice.
Please go ahead, sir.
So he realized that after that period of fasting and prayer, it's also important for us to hear from God. So originally it was 30 days, and eventually it was stretched. We wanted to match Jesus and stretch it to 40 days. So today is the end of the 40th day. Dr. Otabel will be opening the conference. He will be ending Greater Works. He will be ending the 40 days of power, and then we'll begin Greater Works.
So Greater Works begins today.
Greater Works begins today, and our 40 days of fasting ends today.
Give us the lineup for Greater Work. Where is this taking place? The daily session times. Some of the highlights we should look forward to. I always look forward to the messaging, but I think I look forward to the music more than the message because I have not seen an event use music to communicate the word of God like Greater Works does. So I always look forward to the music. So what should we be looking out for?
So like you rightly mentioned, we are all products of what we have received. The Bible says that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And there was nothing that was made without Him. So you and I, we have been influenced and shaped because of what we have been receiving. So one of the highlights of Greater Works is the preaching of God's Word. This year, we are privileged to have Dr. Mensah himself, Dr. Mensah Otabel himself, the General Overseer. We are having Bishop Tudor Bexmack. We are having Bishop Michael Kunko. We are having Pastor Matthew Ashimolo.
Streams will flow for you in the desert places. So when they said it's over for you, they see you shining. Somebody shout hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And then Pastor Paul Adifarasin.
Yes, that Matthew Ashimolo line, Pastor Ashimolo line, I'll never forget it.
Wow.
That streams will flow for you.
Wow.
It's powerful.
It's been great.
So all these men of God are ministering.
They are ministering.
Tell me more.
Yes, so in music, we have Joe Metal. You mentioned him earlier. We have Donson Dinkan. We have Nathaniel Bassi. Nathaniel Bassi, basically, in terms of music, we could say that he's the face of Greater Works.
Yeah.
And then we have one more small He is a new artist who is joining us this year from South Africa. And a host of ICGC choirs. It's going to be exciting. For this evening, Dr. Otabel will open the conference with a communion night. And then on Friday, there's going to be anointing. So those two are very
communion night
moment.
This evening.
Communion
and then Friday there will be the anointing. Is
service.
There a morning session today?
The morning session starts on Tuesday. That is tomorrow. So we have 5 evening sections and 4 morning sections.
What time does the morning session begin?
The morning session begins at 9. And we are out at 1. The evening session begins at 5:30 and it runs through to 9 p.m.
Would you still bus people to the place, help with transportation? Because I see that it's also a feature of every Greater Works, and sometimes I fear for the locations that there will be traffic, but I don't know how you do it. Tens of thousands of people in one place, you manage traffic, you bus people in and out. How do you do it? And are you going to do same this year?
Yes, we are going to do that and more. There'll be buses all over Accra Tama. All you need is to see a bus that is labeled Greater Works. Once you flag it, it will stop and pick you up in all localities. This year, the exciting thing is that we are also bringing regional delegates. So more than 1,000 people are coming from different regions. We have a place for them. The bus will move them from the region to their hostels to the grounds. The grounds is at Christ Temple East, Teshi. That's where we are going to have the Greater excuse me.
My guest this morning is Reverend Kojo Amo Asari Jr. So this morning we've served you 3 Kojos in the studio: Kojo Yankson, Kojo Boateng, Kojo Amo Asari Jr. And we are talking about Greater Works 2026. So there'll be buses. If you see the branded buses, you just hop in. It will take you straight to ICGC Christ Temple East in Tish. Now, those of us listening in the diaspora who cannot come to Ghana for the event, how do they join the Greater Works?
So we will be streaming on ICGC and also on Dr. Tabel's page. And I know that some of your stations will also be picking it up live.
So that is Facebook, YouTube?
Facebook, YouTube.
Okay. And so we can catch all the different sessions.
You
from
can
this
catch
evening, tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, all the way to Friday.
All the 9 sessions will be streamed live. But I really want to encourage people who live in Accra, Tama, or around and will want to consider watching it from streaming. I remember years ago when I had never visited the stadium to watch a football. I've always wondered why will people stress themselves and go to the stadium and watch a football whilst they could be in the comfort of their home, probably take tea or Milo whilst watching. But when Ghana hosted the African Cup, somebody gave me a ticket and I went to the stadium. And Kojo, I realized that the difference was clear.
It's different.
The atmosphere there, the euphoria, the noise, it was different. So I really want to encourage people to be at Greater Works Conference in person. Once you have the means and you are within this enclave, I would really want to challenge you to be there in person because the difference is like day and night.
My friend who convinced me to go for my first Greater Works says, if you want to experience Act Chapter 2, go to Greater Works. I said, what is in Acts chapter 2? Then she read the whole scripture. The Holy Spirit fell upon them. They communed together and they could speak in different languages and understand themselves. They brought their belongings together and shared according to each other's. And that was proper communion of children of the kingdom. So you can watch online, but if you can be there in person, go and experience Acts chapter 2 at Greater Works at ICGC Christ Temple. Rev, any final words for us before you go?
So I want to encourage everybody to be ready for this evening, because I've come to realize that there are few days in a man's life, but there are many days in a man's life, but only a few that he will never forget. I believe that those 5 days are going to be those days. From today through to Friday, the presence of the Lord is going to tabernacle in our space. We are going to encounter divinity. The word of God is going to come, the atmosphere, the worship, the environment. Come and let's connect. Like you rightly mentioned, in Acts chapter 2, verse 42, the Bible says that the disciples committed to the apostles' doctrine, prayer, fellowship, and the breaking of bread. The verse 45 says, and the Lord added to the church daily. So this is an atmosphere that provokes great growth. And I believe that as we come together with a heart devoted for the things of God, the presence of the Lord will come upon our lives.
Amen.
And we are leaving the arena bigger, better, and greater.
Amen. Reverend Kojo Amwasari, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
I've listened to you before, watched you online before.
Thank you.
First time interacting with you one-on-one. And thank you for bringing some blessings to the studio this morning. We'll be with you at ICGC, Christ Temple East. The lady who sells fruits opposite. Sometimes I buy fruits from her.
Oh, that's great.
It's also a pool for me.
It's important. It's important.
All the very best to you, Reverend.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Thank
you.
you.
And may He make this year's greater works even bigger and better.
Amen.
We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back.
Amen. Thanks for having me.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Corporate Ghana, are you ready? The biggest gathering of Corporate Ghana is back. It's time for the Joy Sports Invitational 2026, where competition meets networking, fun meets fitness, and champions are made. Battle it out in football. Take your shot in the thrilling CEO penalty shootout. Test your speed in the lime and spoon race. Laugh your way through the unisex sack race. Pull together in the tag of peace. Show your accuracy in the female penalty shootout. Flex your strength in the arm wrestling and enjoy many more exciting activities. Join us on Saturday, 29th August 2026 at the University of Ghana Stadium. We kick off the day with a high-energy aerobic session from 6 a.m. So come early, warm up, and get ready for an unforgettable day. Ready to register? Call or WhatsApp Slevin on 0242-376445. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournaments 2026 is proudly sponsored by Toyota, Superior Quality, Minerals Commission, the regulator of the mining industry in Ghana, Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app, Abaco, Services Be Brave, Latex Foam, your partner for life. Joy Sports Invitational 2026. Let's compete, connect, and celebrate the true spirit of Corporate Ghana.
Every mosquito start to run away.
This advert is FDA approved.
A new name is joining the Joy News Habitat Fair family.
Corporate Ghana, are you ready? The biggest gathering of Corporate Ghana is back. It's time for the Joy Sports Invitational 2026, where competition meets networking, fun meets fitness, and champions are made. Battle it out in football. Take your shot in the thrilling CEO penalty shootout. Test your speed in the lime and spoon race. Laugh your way through the unisex sack race. Pull together in the tag of peace. Show your accuracy in the female penalty shootout. Flex your strength in the arm wrestling and enjoy many more exciting activities. Join us on Saturday, 29th August 2026 at the University of Ghana Stadium. We kick off the day with a high-energy aerobic session from 6 a.m. So come early, warm up, and get ready for an unforgettable day. Ready to register? Call or WhatsApp Slevin on 0242-376445. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournaments 2026 is proudly sponsored by Toyota, Superior Quality, Minerals Commission, the regulator of the mining industry in Ghana, Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app, Abaco, Services Be Brave, Latex Foam, your partner for life. Joy Sports Invitational 2026. Let's compete, connect, and celebrate the true spirit of corporate Ghana.
We are wrapping up on the show with this song from Joseph Oscar Metal, who will be performing at Greater Works. This song features Kwekute. And the title of the song is Medine Walk.
Shadow of the Almighty.
We have a lot of your messages on the fuel price issues, and basically what you are saying is that the government has not answered the questions. As in, Eduji has not answered the questions. Indeed, he says we should talk to him and plan for him to come to the studio so that we hear the solutions. And you know us, we are not going to sleep on this. We are going to get him or the minister to come to the studio and give us the solutions, how we can cushion Ghana from these external shocks when it comes to fuel. And diesel is what we use to farm. If diesel prices go up, your food prices will go up. Diesel is what we use for transportation of goods. If diesel goes up, your goods and trading costs also go up. It affects a lot of things, power generation, all those things. So we'll be talking about the fuel prices here on the show. Trust us, we'll bring Eduji to the studio. Now, the University of Ghana Business School, widely recognized as Africa's foremost business school and Ghana's premier institution for business education, is inviting you to apply for its special postgraduate programs. Choose from the Executive Master of Business Administration, Weekend Master of Business Administration, Master of Public Administration, and the 1 year's Master's programs. You can join the information session on August 4, 2026 at 4 p.m. at the British Council Auditorium. And there's also a virtual participation option. Go to ugbs.ug.edu.gh, ugbs.ug.edu.gh. WhatsApp 05015881492 for details. Now, the GT Bank big event, the Autism Awareness Week event is coming up. It's starting tomorrow, 4th August, Tuesday, 4th August to Saturday, 8th of August 2026 at the UPSA. It's a big event. It's open to all of us. And this year's theme is acceptance in action, from family to classroom to workplace to public spaces. If you want to learn about autism and be a key player in helping in the space, this is an event for you. Registration is free. It's happening tomorrow at the Kofi Ohene Kunedu Auditorium on Tuesday, 4th August, tomorrow to Saturday. And you can call 0800 124 000 for more information. Lancaster University is giving you the opportunity to give your child a British education right here on Ghana's soil. It's the first British branch campus in Sub-Saharan Africa. It's offering students the same prestigious Lancaster degree awarded in the UK. If you want to apply, go to lancaster.edu.gh for more information. Or you can call 020 960 7008 for more information. CompuGhana Mobile Week is open. All the devices, all the top brands happening at the biggest mobile phones festival featuring top brands at CompuGhana. Visit any CompuGhana showroom or shop online at CompuGhana.com. Whether you need a phone for work, photography, entertainment, gaming, everyday use, CompuGhana has the right choice for you at the biggest mobile phone festival with the top brands, best prices. CompuGhana, passion for technology. And if you need fuel, go to Star Oil, Ghana's largest oil marketing company with over 240 stations nationwide. Star Oil is giving you high quality fuel, and with the Star card you can enjoy safe cashless fueling and easy expense tracking. Wherever you go, choose Star Oil for your quality and affordable fuels. Adobia is bringing the news at 10. We are wrapping up. But if you've not secured your future, talk to EDC this morning. They have the EDC professional fund management solutions for you, flexible investment options, the potential for you to get higher returns than ordinary savings, and financial security for your retirement and your future goals. Call EDC on 0302 610 400, 0302 610 400, or WhatsApp 0509 268414. The Kingdom Books Back to School promo is still running, and we are reminding you, you get a discount of 15% on all school items. So go to any Kingdom Books outlet and shop for this school season. KingdomStoreOnline.com is their website. Go there and buy. Kingdom Books is where quality and affordability are both assured. This is Joe Metal. Kwekute Medanwo. And MTN is giving you something special. MTN is celebrating 30 years in Ghana with the MTN at 30 promo. Every call, every test, every browse, every Momo transaction, every connection to home fiber, and every activity on my MTN app earns you points towards amazing rewards. It includes 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados, over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes, and unforgettable experiences. Dial *530# hash or use the My MTN app to participate now, and let's stay connected. MTN at 30, make every move count. Terms and conditions apply. And the Infantipim at 150 celebrations is still ongoing. If you want to nominate an exceptional old boy, an outstanding teacher, an impactful partner across their categories, distinguished and emerging leadership, education excellence, fan industry, and mobile special awards, you go to infantipim150.org, awards.infantipim150.org, and nominate Infantipim at 150 Drain Shekan. Kweku, our time is up.
Yes,
we gotta go.
Our time is up. We gotta go. And I'll be doing the news at 10.
You'll be reading the news at 10 this morning.
On behalf of Benedicta Adobia Asare. Yes. Yes.
You're reading the news at 10 on behalf of Benedicta
Adobia Asare.
Adobia.
Yes.
Asare.
Mambeni.
That's great. That's great. So
Benedicta.
I hand over to you, Kweku. It's been a great morning. Thank you for listening to the show. My name is Kojo Akoto, but I was here with Kojo Yankson. Reverend Kojo Amuasare joined us. Paul from Kopek joined us. Eduji joined us as well. Waek, we also had a conversation with Waek. Tomorrow we'll bring you more on the Super Morning Show. For now, have a great day. God bless you. And do good for Ghana.